11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alerts.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, homie, but I stay in the flow. See, I just do what I say I'm gonna do. No, my movement ain't faded. You could assume what I'm doing was beta material.
Oh, and so I was saying, there is always something filming here in Atlanta. From movies to TV shows, you name it. And so the A Scene keeps up with all of it for you. Casting calls, which big celebrities are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right. Ah, it's in my drafts. That's my bad.
So you slept in and you missed morning rush, huh? Well, here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
Jeff.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish last.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
A little girl comes to Atlanta to be treated for cancer, and now the search is on for a thief or thieves who stole her medicine in downtown Atlanta, along with her medical records when they broke into the vehicle.
And another person arrested in the death of an Atlanta college student, their alleged connection in the Anitra gun case.
11Alive News Primetime on the ATL starts now.
First tonight, President Trump addressing the fears over the spread of the coronavirus, defending his administration's response after criticism that they weren't doing enough.
And the CDC now confirms a total of 15 cases nationwide. 11Alive's Ellen Lopez now joins us here in the studio with what is next in the federal response.
Yeah, Jeff, Jennifer, we just heard from President Trump about an hour ago. He addressed the public from the White House, trying to ease concerns over a potential outbreak here in the United States. President Trump spoke about the large number of deaths related to the flu here in the United States compared to no deaths from coronavirus here. He says that it's a little bit different, but the U.S. has coronavirus well under control. Still, the CDC says the spread of the virus is inevitable. The president said he is putting Vice President Mike Pence in charge of the administration's response to the virus. As you mentioned there's a total of 15 cases confirmed here in the United States, none here in Georgia. Now, the president said, though, that every aspect of our society should be prepared, but added that the risk to Americans here is very low.
Because of all we've done, the risk to the American people remains very low. We're ready to adapt, and we're ready to do whatever we have to as the disease spreads, if it spreads.
The White House is asking Congress for $2.5 billion to help with funds for the vaccine and other protective equipment. During the briefing, public health officials say that a vaccine could be developed within about a year.
Owen, thank you. Right now, there are still no confirmed cases of coronavirus here in Georgia, as Ellen mentioned. And the CDC says it's not changing anything for airport screenings beyond what's already being done as far as checking passengers on certain flights for symptoms. So how is Georgia preparing? Our Joe Hinkie explains.
To date, our containment strategies have been largely successful.
But as new research comes in, Dr. Nancy Messner with the CDC is asking everyone to begin preparing for the chance of coronavirus spreading in the U.S.
I understand this whole situation may seem overwhelming and that disruption to everyday life may be severe.
In Georgia, Governor Brian Kemp says his office began preparing weeks ago.
We have been on conference calls and in meetings for the last 3 weeks or so in preparation for the what if.
Kemp says the Georgia Department of Health and individual counties will handle any outbreak in Georgia.
They have been working on that for weeks and weeks now, and we'll be ready for whatever comes, and hopefully it won't be much.
Kurt Harris, director of University of Georgia's Institute for Disaster Management, says plans the state health department put in place to deal with Ebola are still in place and can be used to battle the coronavirus if needed.
In Georgia, they developed an entire infectious disease network. They knew of the potential of other infectious diseases to happen within the United States.
The CDC on Tuesday listed how everyone should prepare for a future outbreak. Schools should plan to put students in small groups or close schools and use internet-based teaching options. Businesses should prepare to replace in-person meetings with conference calls and allow employees to telework. Hospitals would need to delay some elective surgeries and increase telehealth options. And communities would need to modify, postpone, or cancel large gatherings. For individuals right now, Harris says remaining informed is key.
We don't want to get into an issue of kind of fear-mongering where things are being put out there that just simply aren't true. So making sure that you're getting information from either your CDC or your State Department of Public Health or World Health Organization and not buying into kind of propaganda.
The CDC says to prepare, you should consider how a coronavirus outbreak could impact your day-to-day life. They recommend asking your child's school what plans they have in place and make your own plans if child care or your child's school or daycare office closes. You should also ask your employer if they have teleworking options in place. If you'd like more information about coronavirus, we can send it straight to you. Just text virus to the number you see right there on your screen. We'll send you a link to all of the latest information. Again, we ask that you text, not call, the word virus to that number on your screen. It's 404-873-9114. You can also, as always, download the 11Alive app to see our previous coverage on the coronavirus, including the symptoms and how the virus spreads.
President Trump began his news conference on the coronavirus with a word to the victims of this afternoon's deadly mass shooting in Milwaukee.
Earlier today, a wicked murderer opened fire at a Molson Coors Brewing Company plant, taking the lives of 5 people. A number of people were wounded, some badly wounded. Our hearts break for them and their loved ones. We send our condolences. We'll be with them.
In the last hour, we have learned those 5 people killed were all employees at the Molson Coors Brewery. It is a massive campus in Milwaukee. It was in the middle of the afternoon when the first shots were fired at that brewery, and once reports came in, police secured the scene, and they put the area on lockdown before moving in. Police say the shooter, identified as a 51-year-old man, then killed himself. The shooting is still being investigated. We will have more information and reaction from police later tonight on Primetime.
Well, your 11Alive storm trackers are tracking some wintry weather, a bit of winter's return as we head into the next 24 to 48 hours or so. You can see we have an area of low pressure spinning around here, bringing a lot of snow to the upper Midwest over into the Great Lakes. So we're seeing heavy snow there, but just a few flurries here in North Georgia in the mountains. We are going to be tracking them tonight. They won't add up to a whole lot, but we may see a dusting here in Northwest Georgia, as well as over into Northeast Georgia, near Helen, possibly Blue Ridge, Blairsville may see a few flakes fly. In fact, the National Weather Service put out a statement this afternoon calling for that wintry mix for up to ½ an inch here across parts of Northeast Georgia and lesser amounts, about ¼ inch in Northwest Georgia. A little less moisture for it to work with as we see the wraparound effect of that area of low pressure. But there could be slick roads in places. Even here, we should have dried out from the rain we had earlier. We just had a trace of rainfall today, but just watch those spots, especially if you live in the North Metro, as temperatures drop below freezing tonight, especially on our bridges and overpasses. So all that warm air moving out and very, very cold air is kind of just settling in as we head into tonight and tomorrow. So tomorrow, you need to grab the big coat before you head out the door, and then reinforcing cold air as we head into Saturday. So the first half of the weekend is going to start out very chilly, and then we'll start to see some improvements. So coming up, we'll have more details on the timing of when the first system exits and the second one moves in, and what you can expect for your entire weekend.
Samantha, thank you. Topping our speed feed tonight, terrifying moments at a Metro Atlanta Walmart after a man was shot in the parking lot. It happened at a store on Old National Highway in South Fulton. Police say the man tried to run into the store for help, but collapsed. He died soon thereafter. Police are still at the scene investigating. They have not said yet what led up to the shooting. A 19-year-old man is wanted for allegedly raping a UGA student. Athens Clark County Police are looking for 19-year-old Dionisio Guadarrama. They believe that he sexually assaulted a female student during a car ride off campus last weekend. If you've seen him, you're asked to call Athens Police. A Fulton County jury has convicted a man charged in 12 sexual assault cases from 2002 to 2005. Prosecutors say they were able to link Dandre Shabazz to the assaults after clearing a backlog of untested rape kits in 2018. Throughout his trial, Shabazz insisted he was innocent. He even took the stand in his own defense, but he couldn't convince the jury and was convicted on nearly all charges, apart from one count of kidnapping. His sentencing is set for next week.
Another man was arrested today in connection with the death of a Fort Valley State student from Atlanta. Investigators say Anitra Gunn was murdered, her body discovered in a wooded area in central Georgia days after she disappeared. Last week, DeMarcus Little, her boyfriend, was charged with her murder, accused of strangling her. Today, that boyfriend's friend, 22-year-old Javian Abrams, was charged with making false statements and concealing Gunn's death. Investigators say they've talked to Abrams several times since Gunn's disappearance, but it wasn't until after they arrested Little for murder that they managed to gather enough evidence against him to charge him. The GBI says they expect more arrests in this case, but wouldn't give any additional details. Atlanta police investigating a body found off of Jonesboro Road today. We brought you this information as breaking news at 5 o'clock on 11Alive. The person who called police says they uncovered the body in a nearby wood line around 3:30. Police say the man appeared to have face injuries. There's no word on who that person is or what may have killed him.
A bill in the Georgia legislature would cap the skyrocketing price of insulin in Georgia, and it would require drug companies which sell insulin to disclose their costs. Here's 11Alive's Doug Richards to take a look at how it would work.
This is a Republican bill that really targets the pharmaceutical companies that market and set prices for insulin.
I was diagnosed at the age of 7 in 2nd grade.
Dan Thrailkill has taken insulin injections every day for 3 decades. He's watched the price of insulin soar.
That's when we really started to see insulin costs skyrocket, going up to $400, $500, $600, $700 a box, say, for a box of 6 insulin pens.
The American Diabetes Association says drug companies tripled the price of insulin between 2002 and 2013.
It's a 100-plus-year-old drug.
Republican State Senator Burt Jones says the spike in the price of insulin is puzzling.
When you can go to other countries and see it for a third of the price, it just makes you wonder why is it so much more expensive here?
Jones has introduced a bill he calls the Diabetes Drug Transparency Act. It would cap the price of a vial of insulin at $150. It would also make drug companies report their cost to produce insulin, the cost of advertising and marketing insulin, their annual profit from insulin, an explanation for price increases, and the amount of financial assistance they give to patients who need it. It also requires detailed info from insurers and pharmacy providers. Thrailkill says it's unclear to him what, if anything, can keep insulin costs down.
I'm in favor of a lot of that stuff, but I'm also cautiously optimistic to see what the results of some of these programs and bills and conversations that are going on, what the results actually lead to.
The state of Nevada enacted a similar law in 2017 that advocates describe as groundbreaking. The question is whether Georgia will follow suit between now and the time the legislature adjourns this spring.
Still to come, police are looking for the person who stole a toddler's cancer medication. Her family's message to the thief next.
Don't forget, we are streaming right now on 11Alive's YouTube channel. You can subscribe and join in the conversation on the community section. We have more 11Alive news in prime time right after the break.
This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hints. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun.
And they're
Convenient. But they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun. There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting. We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m.
You see them all day, every day. Headlines, stats, and numbers, but without context, they're just clickbait. So let's add some perspective. The 3 most interesting numbers of the day, what they mean, and why they're important. News and numbers on Up Late.
What's the best part about
Your voice, it is never too loud.
The family of a 1-year-old little girl battling cancer is begging the thief or thieves who stole their child's medicine and medical records to just return them.
It's a horrible story, and Caitlin Ross talked to the family on their way to yet another hospital.
This is our back window. Her car seat was filled with black glass.
Haley Allen called police as soon as they came downstairs this morning.
I mean, it's just heartbreaking. You know, we have a little girl fighting for her life, and we've been at the hospital so many times.
The thieves took her daughter Haley Holder's cancer diary, where the family has cataloged every step of their journey.
Her date of birth is on there, and you can tell she's 1.5 years old. Who would take that stuff?
They also stole the little girl's medication and the beads of courage she collects every time she completes a treatment.
Every poke, every scan, every chemo, and those are really sentimental. They're representative of her journey.
Her government laptop and her husband's Nintendo Switch were also stolen. She says the officer who took the report asked why she kept valuables in her car.
We are 2 extremely sleep-deprived parents trying to get a 1-year-old through chemo.
She says her husband had a GPS tracking device in his backpack. They tracked it to a house in South Atlanta.
An older gentleman opened the door and he refused to wake up his son. He said his son had just gotten home from work about an hour ago and he was sleeping, and so he wasn't going to wake him up.
Fulton County Police responded but told the family they couldn't go in without a warrant.
We have enough bad every day that it would be really nice for someone to just take a moment's pause and think about how this is affecting us and our daughter.
Atlanta police stress not to ever leave anything of value in your car. It is a big-time target these days.
It is. The Allen family says they are not interested in pressing charges, and they don't want money back for the broken window. They just want their daughter's medical records and the beads of courage back.
No, it's awful.
Well, your 11Alive storm trackers tracking a little bit of cold, wintry weather that's going to be spilling in tonight. In fact, you can see how it's impacting the eastern third of the nation, with snow stretching all the way up into the Great Lakes across the Midwest. And here we'll just see a few of the flurries across North Georgia, with some accumulations across Northwest Georgia and Northeast Georgia tonight. But they won't be very impressive. There won't be any snowman pictures coming out of this particular round, I don't believe. But I'll tell you what, there's some very cold air moving in with the system. So it's definitely going to feel like Old Man Winter is making a big time return here. So we do have a few flurries flying here across Northwest Georgia and Lafayette, stretching over into Cherokee County, a few flakes flying right now, and then a few here over north of Helen. So we'll be watching those this evening. And the National Weather Service hasn't put out a winter weather advisory or anything like that, but they did put out a statement that we could see as much as a ½ an inch in Northeast Georgia and a ¼ of an inch across Northwest Georgia. And slick roads are possible just about anywhere where we could have a little moisture on the roadways. Most of us should have dried out after the rain today, but there may be some spots that tend to hold the moisture a little better. So be careful out there on the roadways. Looking out at Rome, you can see the winds are still gusting. They had winds out of the west-northwest up around 20 miles per hour this afternoon, and it will be breezy again tomorrow as well. So bundle up before you head out the door. And we're looking at those clouds that came through. Really impressive pictures from our team of an 11Alive storm trackers on our Facebook page. Carol Simmons at the Jackson Street Bridge posting this picture of those dark cloud bases as the system moved through here in Atlanta. And then incoming, a beautiful rainbow. A lot of storm trackers posting just how gorgeous the rainbow was out there today, seen from various angles all across North Georgia. So good work, storm trackers. We're looking at those temperatures that are going to be dropping the next 24 hours. So today we were at 55 and 44. That was a little bit below average for a high temperature. We should be around 59 and 40 for a low temperature. And we're going to see our temperatures mainly in the upper 30s and 40s tomorrow afternoon. So the big chill is returning here across the Atlanta metro area. And you can see already we're some 17 degrees colder than we were at this time yesterday in Atlanta, 16 degrees colder in Marietta, and Carrollton's running about 15 degrees colder. So we're already starting to feel the chill. But it wasn't all that cold yesterday. So when we're really going to feel it is tomorrow morning when we stick our nose out the door, when we take the kids to the bus stop with those winds and the cold air in place. It's going to feel like we're 22 degrees. So grab out the big parka tomorrow, the warm winter coat, because you're likely to need it. And even during the day, we're still going to feel like we're close to freezing at lunchtime. So it will be a chilly day as the warm air has moved out and the cold air is going to be settling in. So the first blast tonight, the second blast coming in towards the end of the week, and that's when we could see some more wintry weather. So a few flurries to the north as we head into the overnight. We'll have dry and chilly conditions on our Thursday and another snow risk for North Georgia on our Friday. So there's what we're seeing tonight. We'll have those scanty accumulations in the mountains in North Georgia and the highest elevations, cold and blustery on our Thursday. And then getting into Friday, we'll see a few more showers moving back in. This is in the afternoon and evening, so you may need your umbrella on Friday. And we'll see that snow event happen in far northeast Georgia. Right now, we're not expecting to see any snow flying around here, just those cold temperatures. So here's a look at your forecast. We'll see that cold conditions tomorrow. Definitely dress warmly as you head out the door early tomorrow morning. Even throughout the day, you'll want to bundle up. Friday, we'll have a 30% chance late in the day, and then we have a 20% chance in the morning on our Saturday, but most of the day will be dry but chilly to start, and then we'll start warming it up over the weekend. Sunday looks like the best day of the weekend. We can just enjoy the day and not worry about the rain that's going to be moving back in next week.
All right, they're easy for kids to download, but apps can open the door for trouble. A warning every parent needs to hear next.
Block on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And of course, I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout-out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibe with it, it's a good time. We don't worry about the hate, we just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hints. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun.
Cell phones are, man, I'll tell you what, if you're a parent, you do not like them. You cannot pry them out of your child's hands. It's hard to do, but it also really opens a door for predators to come into your home that are not welcome and certainly can cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, it certainly is a concern. Hope Ford shows us the popular apps that you need to know about.
Some popular names you might have heard of, like Bumble, but others you might go, what is that? So these apps can give a direct line between predators and your kids and teens. And some of them can reveal your child's location. They can open the door to online bullying or even allow your child the ability to hide their browser history. I'm talking about dating apps like Meet Me, Bumble, Grindr, apps with no age verification, so teens can get access. There's WhatsApp, where videos can be sent and live location shared. TikTok gives easy access to adult content. Kik is supposed to be for kids only, but anyone can join and direct message a child. And then there's calculator apps. They're meant to be disguised as a calculator, but check out the keypad. It's actually a door with a PIN number, allowing access to hidden videos, pictures, and browser history. And here's a quick way to tell if the calculator app is fake. The real calculator app has a picture of a mini calculator, not just plus or minus signs. And all of these apps are just a starting point because new ones pop up all the time.
A lot of times we have never heard of an app until we start working a case that involves one of the up-and-coming new apps, whether it's a direct private messaging or an anonymous platform.
Elizabeth Prashad is a Marietta police cyber analyst. She sees a lot of cases of predators going after children and teens and sextortion.
We get some elementary school cases, we get middle school cases, we get high school cases.
Prashad says really be mindful of any app, even if your child has a restricted profile. Even mainstream apps like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter allow direct messaging and photo and video sharing with strangers.
It's hard to imagine that your 7-year-old or your 8-year-old might have someone telling them that they're attractive or asking them to lift up their shirt. But it happens, and it happens in places where parents think their children are completely safe.
And here's a bonus tip. Make sure your kids aren't downloading, deleting, then re-downloading the apps when you're not looking. So for iPhones, you can go to the App Store and click on that icon in the upper right corner. Then select Purchase. Then go to Not on this iPhone. And there you have it, a complete list of every app that has ever been downloaded from that account. For Android, same thing. Go to the Google Play Store app, tap My Apps and Games, and select all to see the list.
Good information there. Well, police say if you are concerned about an app, you can always download it for yourself to give it a try first.
A few years ago, a car accident left a college runner with multiple fractures in her skull and neck. In 3 days, she'll be competing in the Olympic marathon trials. Her incredible comeback story is coming up next.
Where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food. And of course, you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers. I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alerts.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, homie, but I stay in the flow. See, I just do what I say I'm gonna do.
So I was saying, there is always something filming here in Atlanta. From movies to TV shows, you name it. And so the A scene keeps up with all of it for you. Casting calls, which big celebrities are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right. Ah, it's in my drafts. That's my bad.
So you slept in and you missed Morning Rush, huh? Well, here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
Stop.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
Jess.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish last.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Televised newscast not enough for you? Get even more.
February is Black History Month, and it is a great time for all of us, every American, black and white, Latino, Asian, everybody, to take a look at the contributions of what African Americans have meant in this country from the very beginning, from before we were a country, all of the incredible contributions.
It is. It's certainly a time to look back and also to remember those and the things that they did for us. Now, Dr. King is someone that we talk about so much here in our country. And a lot of people look back at him and remember all the work he did, especially what he meant here in Atlanta. But what about the future? What about the pioneers? Who is coming ahead? Who's looking into those issues facing Black America right now? Natasha Lance answers those questions for us tonight.
Challenges of the past.
This is raw tyranny under the guise of maintaining law and order.
Teach us what we need for the future.
But it was for one reason, and that was because of the color of his skin.
The church has become more secular, and I think the black church in particular, as we have prospered, we have taken our eyes off of activism.
Pastor Lee Jenkins grew up believing black churches held a leadership role during the civil rights movement. It was the church that created leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and others of the movement.
We need that same type of sacrifice today.
Jenkins has made that sacrifice. He left a successful career as an investment advisor to answer a higher calling, becoming lead pastor at Eagles Nest Church in Alpharetta.
I just wanted to make more of an impact, again, on families and on people.
And race relations.
I don't feel like we're in a very good place. It just looks a little bit different, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
A few years ago, Jenkins jumped into that work with a new idea called the conversation movement.
That I would experience being called a spick to my face by a little white lady I'd never seen before.
It's a joint effort between his church, predominantly black, and Roswell community, predominantly white.
So what we have tried to do in these small groups is to personalize all of our experiences. And then that leads to racial unity and understanding.
Every generation has to be a part of the freedom struggle, because if not, we lose ground.
Losing ground is not an option for Dr. Bernice King. As CEO of the King Center, she continues to pursue her father's quest for equality. She believes one of today's biggest issues is the racial wealth gap.
If there's some kind of disparity or some deficiency that a person has, wealth can put them in a position where they can overcome it.
King says conquering the divide and other racial challenges of our time doesn't require just one prominent leader like her dad.
I think it's less about the actual person and more about the collective as we move forward.
Democracy failed Georgia.
Since 2018, Stacey Abrams has become a political darling among Democrats. During her race for governor of Georgia, she came closer to winning than any other Democrat since 1966. Abrams never conceded to Brian Kemp. Instead, her voice got louder, pointing to voter suppression as one of the main reasons she lost.
During the 1960s, it was evidenced by Jim Crow laws that physically prevented you from voting. Billy clubs, hoses, dogs. But what it looks like today are administrative rules.
She created the voting rights advocacy group Fair Fight Action to fix the problem.
There's a danger inherent in anyone who denies democracy to an eligible citizen. Because when we break the machinery of democracy, we don't just break it for those we don't like, we break it for everyone.
Abrams has been named a leader for the Democratic Party, even mentioned as a possible VP running mate for whoever becomes the Democratic presidential nominee.
And as a black woman, as a woman of color, as a person of color, and as a woman, I think it is absolutely my responsibility to not shrink away from it.
Abrams has come to recognize the importance of her visibility.
There's a mural of my face on a building, and it's near where my nieces go to daycare. Knowing that my 4-year-old niece looks up every day and doesn't just see my face, but sees her potential and believes that it's possible, and that's what Black history is about.
For Abrams, her place in Black history is still being written. With certainty, she believes one day she will be president of the United States.
So we are part of a nation that has made it its mission to help lift everyone up, and we cannot be left behind.
If you'd like to hear more stories like this one and a chance to hear from Atlanta's other pioneers, be sure to watch our Black History Month special. It's called Today's Pioneers. It'll air this Saturday night at 7 on 11Alive.
Well, we're starting to feel the return of winter tonight as some very cold air is spilling in across the eastern half of the country, and that's going to take our temperatures down into the 20s tonight across parts of North Georgia, but it's going to feel even colder than that as we head into the overnight hours as those winds blow in some areas in the mountains here. You can see we have widespread snow across the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, into the upper Midwest. Just a few flakes flying here. We don't expect much in the way of accumulations, but those folks who live in Lafayette may see a few of those flakes flying. They're out there. Also just north of Canton on 575, a little wintry mix and a few flakes around Helen. Just a few right now, barely enough to show up on radar, but we could end up with around a ½ an inch across far northeast Georgia and about ¼ of an inch across northwest Georgia tonight. And slick spots are possible anywhere where we drop below freezing, and that's even in the Atlanta area. We do believe our roads have dried out enough, but with some areas of moisture standing, there could be some slick spots. So just be careful out there on the roadways. So coming up, we'll talk about the timing of these two systems this week and what you can expect for your weekend.
Sam, thank you. Investigators believe they have identified remains that hunters found in Hall County months ago. That tops our speed feed tonight. The sheriff's office says they are a missing Flowery Branch man, Johnny Vickers. He was last seen in March of 2018. A pair of deer hunters stumbled upon his remains last December. Investigators have not determined a cause of death, but they have ruled out foul play. A 17-year-old in jail for a shooting that landed an 11 and 18-year-old in the hospital. Brandon Nakano Cruz turned himself in to police. Cruz allegedly shot at the two victims when they heard gunshots and walked outside to see what was going on. It happened last December in Buckhead. Both of the young men survived. A federal appeals court has ruled the Department of Justice can refuse money to sanctuary cities. These are cities that withhold information about undocumented immigrants in their jails. 7 states had filed a lawsuit after the Justice Department announced it would not give these cities money from a federal grant. Federal law says local governments must provide information about the citizenship status of people they arrest.
We are 3 days away from the Olympic marathon trials, and the marathon is a true test of endurance and physicality. I love that word, physicality. We love that word in sports. But for 24-year-old runner Megan Cunningham, she recently was learning how to walk again after a truck accident nearly ended her racing career. Maria Martin tells us how she defied the odds to get to be able to race again.
I wasn't even thinking like regional level, much less Olympic trials.
Former Missouri Tiger Megan Cunningham started running in elementary school.
If you made the track team in elementary school, you got to miss a day of school.
Olympic dreams haven't come easy for Megan, nor did she even think that they were possible.
My junior year of high school, I got 99th place at the state meet. Even competing on any kind of national level was never even crossed my mind.
Then just after her sophomore year of college, her family's truck that was pulling a trailer for a camping trip flipped multiple times.
I was like aware of the situation, but I don't think I really like put two and two together, like how seriously hurt I was.
Megan's skull was fractured in more than 20 places, and her neck was broken in multiple places as well.
For months, I couldn't even sit up on my own. They had to teach me how to walk again. I never thought of paralysis as even a possibility until I saw my dad.
Her father was paralyzed from the chest down.
So I was trying to do as much as I could independently just so that they didn't have to worry about me.
Despite the injuries from the accident, giving up running was never an option for Megan.
The second that they brought my phone to me, I texted my college coaches and told them, hey, I'm sorry, like these are my injuries. I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna have to redshirt cross country. Hopefully I'll be back in time for track. Meanwhile, everyone's like, you can't even walk. You're not coming back ever. But in my mind, like that was not an option.
And with the inspiration of showing her father anything is possible, she ran her way into the Olympic marathon trials.
I want my story to motivate people to never give up. With a little bit of patience and hard work, like you're able to accomplish anything you set your mind to.
She and hundreds of others will compete in the U.S. Olympic marathon trials on Saturday, and you can watch the race on our sister station, 11Alive. Cheryl Preheim and yours truly will bring you coverage right up to the start of the race beginning at 11:30 a.m. on 11Alive.
Still ahead, would Bernie Sanders' plan to raise taxes undercut his plan to raise the minimum wage? Our Verified team is crunching the numbers.
I'm Francesca Emmerker with the A Scene. It was quite the surprise for one couple at Disney World. The big surprise by a big name celeb. It's coming up in the A Scene.
Some mornings, what you want isn't what you have time for. And that's why there's the Rush Blog, the biggest news of the day in 5 minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Blog on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And of course, I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Emmerker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibe with it. It's a good time. We don't worry about the hate. We just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hints. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun.
And they're convenient.
But they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun. There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting. We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time.
Senator Bernie Sanders is heading into South Carolina as the Democratic frontrunner, but there's a viral post going around claiming that his plan to raise the minimum wage would be canceled out by his tax hike. Our Jason Puckett and our Verified team checked out the math.
This tweet by actor James Wood shows the core of this claim, and it has been shared a lot. The image shows a giant math problem based on two of Bernie Sanders' key policy promises. First, it says Sanders wants to raise minimum wage to $15 an hour, which would be about $31,200 a year. But then it says Sanders would pay for his Medicare for All plan by raising taxes on wages over $29,000 a year to a huge 52%. The image claims that by doing those two things, people who earn just over $30,000 will now make about $7.20 an hour after those taxes. Here's the thing. Not only is this viral image misleading, it's flat out wrong. First, Sanders never said he wants a 52% tax on everyone making more than $29,000. Sanders' Medicare for All plan does include a 52% tax, but it's only for people with income greater than $10 million a year. This claim is false based on that fact alone, but it's important to look at the math as well. Woods called it simple arithmetic, but our tax system doesn't actually work like this claim suggests. Remember, we have a progressive tax system in the U.S. In a progressive system, you don't move from one bracket to another, you just add the new bracket, meaning we all pay the same tax on the same amount of income, but people who earn more pay higher taxes on that extra income. For example, someone making $20,000 a year is in the second bracket, but they don't pay 12% on all their money. They pay 10% on the first $9,700, and then the remaining $10,300 is taxed at 12%. So back to the claim. It's false. Not only is it misquoting Sanders' actual plans, it's also misrepresenting how our tax system works.
For your 11Alive storm trackers, busy tracking some winter weather that's moving in tonight. Now, we're not going to see a snowstorm, but we'll see some flurries fly across North Georgia. In fact, we're already seeing them on the radar. Not widespread like the snow is across the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley is tonight, that's for sure. But we are seeing a few flakes fly here across our northernmost counties and through northwest Georgia, just north of Rome near Somerville. We have a little wintry mix that's being detected by our radar. And then also here in Cherokee County, you may see some flakes fly tonight, but we're not expecting any accumulations here, but you may see it just for a moment before it evaporates as that drier air is moving in. But we'll likely see a little coating of some of these flurries around tonight, especially across North Georgia. And then we'll have that dry, chilly air moving in on our Thursday with another round of wintry weather possible as we head into Friday night and Saturday. So looking out across North Georgia, it is chilly up there. The winds have been blowing up around 20 miles per hour, and those winds are going to continue to blow, and it's going to keep us pretty cold tonight and in through all of tomorrow as well. So look at these beautiful clouds up in Cobb County. David Wentworth, one of our 11Alive storm trackers, capturing that beautiful picture. Lots of brilliant rainbow pictures. Kimberly Smith, one of our 11Alive storm trackers, capturing this brilliant shot. So bright. That rainbow was just incredible, and it was a double rainbow too. That was Robin Robinson incoming. So we definitely have seen our share of rainbows this evening, and now we're seeing our share of the cold air that is moving on in. In fact, those temperatures right now at 42 in Atlanta, 40 in Marietta, 39 in Canton, and 35 in Blairsville. And it is running about 17 degrees colder than we were at this time in the Atlanta area right now than we were 24 hours ago. 16 degrees colder in Marietta and 15 degrees colder in Carrollton. So it is definitely feeling chilly out there. And tomorrow, grab the big coat as you head out the door. Put the kids in the big coats and maybe put the hats on them as well, because it's going to feel like it's 22 degrees as you head to the bus stop tomorrow morning, and it's still going to be chilly during the day. I mean, throughout the afternoon, it's going to feel like we're in the upper 30s and low 40s. So it will be a cold one, and with all the bugs that are going around, all the viruses, everybody needs to stay as healthy as possible. So into Wednesday night we go, and we'll likely see a few flakes fly here across northeast Georgia. It won't last long. That drier air is moving in, and that will tend to dry things up. But still watch for some possible slick spots on the roadways as our temps will be below freezing. Getting into Friday, we'll see the clouds move in again. Some cold showers in the afternoon, and we'll see some more flakes flying in a wintry mix across northeast Georgia once again. Gilmer County and through Fannin County, Towns County, it's possible. And then as we head through the evening as well. So another potential blast of cold air will definitely for sure cold air, but potential snow here across northeast Georgia overnight. And then by Saturday, just that cold, dry air is moving in again. So the American model is showing that snow moving into our northeastern counties tonight. And then once we get into Friday, we'll likely see a little bit more snowfall, maybe an inch or two in the highest elevations in places like Brasstown Bald. But I think the main thing we're going to notice is the cold, blustery conditions. We're feeling the winds out there right now, gusting up to 22 miles per hour. Still breezy in the morning, breezy enough to make it feel a whole lot chillier, and breezy throughout the day tomorrow and into our Friday as well. So bundle up out there, kids. We'll likely see these temperatures continue to be unseasonably cool for the next few days. So we'll have a dry day tomorrow, a 30% chance of showers here Friday afternoon and evening, lasting into the early morning hours on Saturday. Then we're chilly to start on Saturday, but a mostly dry weekend with a 10 on the wazometer on Sunday. Very nice into the low 60s, so we won't even worry about the rain that we may see next week. We'll just enjoy the dry weekend that we can look forward to.
Today is Ash Wednesday. It marks the beginning of the 40 days of Lent. But one local pastor is using it to bridge the gap between the church and the LGBTQ community. Today, hundreds participated in Glitter Ash Wednesday. Ashes mixed with glitter were offered to Beltline walkers. Associate Pastor Colin Holtz says it is a way to show the LGBTQ community has the support of the church.
There are so many LGBTQ human beings out there who are under the impression that Christians hate them or that God hates them. And if I can counter that with just for one or two people today, it was worth it.
This is the event's 4th annual year. The pastor says the ashes represent remorse, and the glitter represents, he says, solidarity.
All right, folks, you know what time it is. You see your screen. It is time for Wednesday's edition of the A Scene, and we are kicking off with a celebrity spotting with a twist. Guess what? Atlanta artist was seen hoedowing at Disney. Yes, that is Lithia Springs' very own Lil Nas X crashing a wedding at Disney World over the weekend in Orlando. He shared this video on his Twitter, and you can see him escort the bride into her reception to his song, Old Town Road. Now, he was wearing a matching white suit, but, you know, judging by all the clapping and the screaming, we think it's safe to say the bride sure didn't mind any competition. And the Freeform show, Grownish, starring Atlanta's own Chloe and Halle Bailey, is in the midst of season 3. It's junior year, and everything is changing. In fact, show stars Chloe Bailey and son of Russell Simmons, Diggy Simmons, stopped by recently to tell us about working on the show.
I think it's so important for, you know, all people of color to see proper representation in a positive way that's not stereotypical. And I'm really happy and proud to be a part of a show that does that.
And for people to, you know, be like, this happened to me, or, you know, this was kind of my college experience. So for people to be heard with that type of experience is cool.
It's going to be a good one, and Grownish season 3, all of it can be streamed right now on Freeform.
After the break, a bill that would allow Georgia residents to bring guns inside places of worship.
You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun, and they're convenient, but they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun. There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting. We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
You see them all day, every day. Headlines, stats, and numbers, but without context, they're just clickbait. So let's add some perspective. The 3 most interesting numbers of the day, what they mean, and why they're important. News and numbers on Up Late. What's the best part about
Your voice, it is never too loud or too much. Your voice has the power to tell it like it is.
Bringing us together to act.
Together, our voices grow. Together, we come alive, amplifying voices and breaking down barriers to change the story and shape the future. Together, we are unstoppable. Together, we are where Atlanta speaks.
Remember the old days, the old cliffhangers when we used to watch shows?
Hey,
and they
cliffhangers.
would, they would wait the next week. You were, oh, what's going to happen to the $6 million man? He was hanging with his one bionic arm.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. Only on 11Alive.
Atlanta. Almost 6 million people call the Metro home. But what makes this place so great? I'm 11Alive's Chesley McNeil. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why Atlanta is the best city in America. Come on, man. It's the heart of the South. And it's one of the most diverse cities around. People from all walks of life have come here and made it home. From different backgrounds, languages, and religions. And who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and
Push to allow people to carry guns inside of places of worship. It's a controversial topic, and we want to know what you think. You can head over to 11alive.com/vote right now to let us know.
The state Senate bill, which is labeled 357, would allow people to carry guns inside places of worship. It would also allow guns inside faith-based schools. The debate on this goes back years, but it recently has come up again.
Yeah, while some are against it, others say it's the one reason that a man was able to stop a shooter inside a Texas church. Jack Wilson was hailed a hero after stopping a shooter inside the West Freeway Church of Christ back in December. 3 people died, including the gunman, but police say Wilson's quick thinking prevented more deaths.
We're going to be keeping an eye on the bill's status to see if it gains any kind of traction during the session.
So to come, it appears the man in the moon just might have a neighbor out there. We've got details on the Earth's second moon and when it showed up.
Where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food. And of course, you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers. I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. Only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alert.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, homie, but I stay in the flow. So y'all just do what I say I'm gonna do. No, my movement ain't fading. You could assume what the doing was great.
Oh, and so I was saying, there is always something filming here in Atlanta. From movies to TV shows, you name it. And so the A scene keeps up with all of it for you. Casting calls, which big celebrities are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right. Ah, it's in my drafts. That's my bad.
slept in and you missed Morning Rush, huh? Well, here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
Jesse.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't.
Here's a pop quiz for you. How many moons does the Earth have? Well, seems like an easy question, but we have recently learned a new mini-moon is temporarily orbiting the Earth.
It was first spotted by scientists at the University of Arizona on February 15th, and they were sober. The mini-moon, called 2020 CD3, is about 6 to 11 feet across, smaller than a Mini Cooper. Experts believe it entered the Earth's orbit 3 years ago. No word on how long we can expect it to stick around, as long as it doesn't fall on us. Planets like Jupiter and Saturn have dozens of moons closer to Earth. Mars has just 2, and Mercury and Venus do not have any if you are scoring at home. One of the scientists that discovered the mini-moon says it is, quote, just the second asteroid known to orbit the Earth.
I don't like all this stuff. like when they got rid of Pluto, I'm not here for it. Just leave things, just let them lie.
You're like, I want it as it was taught to me in elementary school.
Exactly.
Now what is all this riffraff? All right, well, like Jeff said, just don't land on us, right?
Yeah, there you go. That's right. All right, as you know, folks, it's almost 9 o'clock. We have a lot coming up on Primetime News.
A foster mom pleads guilty to felony child molestation, but she was only sentenced to probation. Now the sex abuse survivor is fighting to sue DFCS.
And another person arrested in the death of an Atlanta college student, the alleged connection to the Anitra gun case.
11Alive News Primetime on the ATL starts now.
First tonight, President Trump addressing the fears over the spread of the coronavirus, defending his administration's response after criticism they weren't doing enough.
That's right. So the CDC confirms a total number of 15 cases across our country. 11Alive's Elman Lopez joins us now with what the feds are going to do next.
Yeah, Ron, Aisha, we just heard from President Trump about 2 hours ago. He addressed the public from the White House. He says the risk of Americans getting coronavirus is very low.
Because of all we've done, the risk to the American people remains very low. We're ready to adapt and we're ready to do whatever we have to as the disease spreads, if it spreads.
President Trump easing concerns over fears of a potential coronavirus outbreak in the United States. Still, the CDC says the spread of the virus is inevitable, as the virus is spreading person to person in several countries, including Iran, Italy, and Japan. President Trump says he is putting Vice President Mike Pence in charge of the administration's response to the virus. There are 15 confirmed cases in the U.S. So far, none here in Georgia.
The administration in Washington understands the response happens at the local level. They have been working on that for weeks and weeks now, and we'll be ready for whatever comes, and hopefully it won't be much. But if it is, we'll be ready to respond.
Some universities like Georgia Tech and UGA already canceled study abroad programs in China and in South Korea because of the virus. The University System of Georgia says when the CDC issues a level 3 travel warning, that's when it recommends schools change study abroad plans. Italy and Japan are currently at a level 2 warning. And the White House is asking Congress for $2.5 billion to help provide funds for the vaccine and other protective equipment. During that briefing earlier tonight, public health officials say that a vaccine could be developed within a year. Aisha.
Right now, there are still no confirmed cases of coronavirus here in Georgia, and the CDC says it's not changing anything for airport screenings beyond what has already been in place as far as checking passengers on certain flights for symptoms. So how is Georgia preparing? Joe Henke explains.
To date, our containment strategies have been largely successful.
But as new research comes in, Dr. Nancy Messner with the CDC is asking everyone to begin preparing for the chance of coronavirus spreading in the U.S.
I understand this whole situation may seem overwhelming and that disruption to everyday life may be severe.
In Georgia, Governor Brian Kemp says his office began preparing weeks ago.
We have been on conference calls and in meetings for the last 3 weeks or so in preparation for the what if.
Kemp says the Georgia Department of Health and individual counties will handle any outbreak in Georgia.
They have been working on that for weeks and weeks now, and we'll be ready for whatever comes, and hopefully it won't be much.
Kurt Harris, director of University of Georgia's Institute for Disaster Management, says plans the state health department put in place to deal with Ebola are still in place and can be used to battle the coronavirus if needed.
In Georgia, they developed an entire infectious disease network. They knew of the potential of other infectious diseases to happen within the United States.
The CDC on Tuesday listed how everyone should prepare for a future outbreak. Schools should plan to put students in small groups or close schools and use internet-based teaching options. Businesses should prepare to replace in-person meetings with conference calls and allow employees to telework. Hospitals would need to delay some elective surgeries and increase telehealth options. And communities would need to modify, postpone, or cancel large gatherings. For individuals right now, Harris says remaining informed is key.
We don't want to get into an issue of kind of fear-mongering where things are being put out there that just simply aren't true. So making sure that you're getting information from either your CDC or your State Department of Public Health or World Health Organization and not buying into kind of propaganda.
The CDC also says to prepare, you should consider how a coronavirus outbreak could impact your day-to-day life. They recommend asking your school what plans they have in place and making sure you plan for your child care, your child's school in case they close down. And ask your employer if they have teleworking options in place. We are committed to bringing you context and perspective as we continue monitoring new developments on the coronavirus. You can text us at 404-873-9114 to receive a link directly to the latest updates as we work to provide you facts, not fear.
I'm meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11Alive Storm Trackers. It is cold, it is blustery out there tonight, and that cold air is wringing out any leftover moisture in the atmosphere. And in some spots, we've been seeing just a little bit of light rain in the metro area and even a few flurries over North Georgia. I'm on Facebook Live right now. We have over 500 people on right now. We do have a couple of people. Preston Pitts up in Sky Valley confirmed some snow flurries a little earlier up in Sky Valley, but not really causing any accumulation. Had another comment, I can't find it here, but it was from Blue Ridge, reporting some light accumulation, or not light accumulations, but just light snow flurries up in the Blue Ridge area. So here's what we're watching on radar, where you can see most areas are dry. We just have these little bits of moisture that are moving down into our area in the form of snow flurries. Most of that is over North Georgia. When it gets here, it's mainly in the form of just a couple of little light raindrops. Now here you can see in North Georgia, some of that coming through Fannin County, into parts of Murray County, Dayton Walker, maybe just a few little light flurries there. This is what I was telling you about up in the Sky Valley area, just a few flurries there as well as up in Blue Ridge. We'll widen out a little bit and you can see that this is coming from the north and west. Not a lot of moisture, but it's that cold air that's wrapping around and pushing into parts of North Georgia. Take a live look out there. This is our tower cam in Blue Ridge. I know it's really dark and you can't really see a lot, but sometimes, you know, in the reflection of those lights, you might can see a couple of flurries, but anything up in Blue Ridge right now is so light, it's not showing up on our tower cam. But here are the areas we're watching tonight for the potential of a winter mix. In Northeast Georgia, we're talking about maybe up to a ½ inch at most. Northwest Georgia, a dusting to maybe a ¼ of an inch. But in those areas where there will be some moisture on the ground, I really think most of it is going to dry up. There could be some slick spots that could develop a bit during the overnight hours and toward tomorrow morning. We don't think that will be widespread either. Stay with us. This isn't the only chance for flurries this week. We have another round coming a little bit later. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
A deadly mass shooting rocks the city of Milwaukee tonight. A gunman killed 5 people before turning the gun on himself. NBC's Dan Shinneman reports from the city's most famous brewery.
Okay, confirmed active shooter. Shooter still at large.
It was the middle of the afternoon when the first shots were fired at the Molson Coors complex in Milwaukee.
There was a horrific shooting that has occurred.
Authorities secured the scene. Streets were blocked off. The campus placed on lockdown. And police moved in.
Officers located the suspect, a 51-year-old Milwaukee man, deceased from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. At this time, we have located 5 additional deceased adult victims.
All of the victims were employees of Miller Coors.
It's a terrible day for Milwaukeeans, and I pass on my condolences to the families.
City and state leaders now forced to deal with tragedy.
It is a tragedy for Milwaukee, yes, but it's a tragedy for the entire state of Wisconsin.
The shooting remains an active investigation. Topping our speed feed tonight, terrifying moments at a Metro Atlanta Walmart after a man was shot in the parking lot. This is what we know. It happened on Old National Highway in South Fulton. Police say the man tried to run into the store for help, but he collapsed and later died. Police are still at the scene investigating. They have not released a motive for this shooting. A 19-year-old man is wanted now for allegedly raping a UGA student, and here's his picture. Athens Clark County police are looking for this guy right here. He's a 19-year-old. They believe that he sexually assaulted a female student during a car ride off campus last weekend. If you know where he is, call police immediately. A Fulton County jury just convicted a man charged in 12 sexual assault cases from 2002 to 2005. Prosecutors say they were able to link DeAndre Shabazz to the assaults after clearing a backlog of untested rape kits in 2018. Throughout his trial, Shabazz insisted he was innocent. He even took to the stand in his own defense, but he could not convince the jury and was convicted on nearly all the charges except for one, kidnapping. He's going to be sentenced next week.
Another man was arrested today in connection with the death of a Fort Valley State student from Atlanta. Investigators say Anitra Gunn was murdered, her body discovered in a wooded area in central Georgia days after she disappeared. Last week, her boyfriend was charged with her murder, accused of strangling Gunn. Today, her boyfriend's friend, 23-year-old Javon Abram, was charged with making false statements and concealing Gunn's death. Investigators say they've talked to Abram several times since Gunn's disappearance, but it wasn't until after they arrested Little for murder that they managed to gather enough evidence to charge Abram. The GBI says they expect more arrests in this case, but wouldn't give any more details.
Some patients are now cutting back on insulin as prices go up. Now, two bills at the state capitol could kind of set a cap on the price of insulin right here in the state of Georgia. 11Alive's Doug Richards explains how the crackdown on pharmaceutical companies will work.
This is legislation that would not only regulate the price of insulin, but it would also get the big pharmaceutical companies that make money off of insulin to disclose how much it's actually costing them.
I have been taking insulin since January 13th, 1988.
Dan Threlkill has had diabetes for about as long as he can remember. Insulin is an essential drug for patients with type 1 diabetes, and its cost tripled a few years ago, according to the American Diabetes Association.
Our health care costs over the last 3 years have averaged between $20,000 and $23,000 per year for two of us, and most of that is falling on me because the biggest cost for us is insulin.
The Republican bill in the Georgia Senate is called the Diabetes Drug Transparency Act. It would require the drug companies to report to the state their cost to produce insulin, the cost of advertising and marketing insulin, their annual profit from insulin, and an explanation for price increases. It would also require disclosure of the amount of financial assistance they give to patients who need it.
When you can go to other countries and see it for a third of the price, it just makes you wonder why is it so much more expensive here?
Senator Burt Jones's bill would cap the price of a vial of insulin at $150. Another bill introduced by a Democrat would cap it at $100.
Beautiful. It was like a big, beautiful garden. Now it looks like a bomb went off in a lot of places.
All right, so this is long promised relief and one step closer for Georgia farmers still recovering from Hurricane Michael. The storm battered South Georgia more than 16 months ago, resulting in billions of dollars in losses across 95 counties. And starting next month, farmers can now apply for relief from a $340 million block grant program. Now, this is all part of the $19 billion federal disaster bill President Trump signed last year. The State Department of Agriculture will administer this program. Applications must be submitted online from March 18th through midnight, April 8th. Producers of certain crops like timber, dairy, and pecan may be eligible. Governor Brian Kemp says the funds send a strong message to people in hurricane-devastated areas.
We know that this was a generational event, and it will take a long time to recover, but we continue to fight for you.
You know, we've posted what you need to know about the application process, including a link to the state website on 11alive.com.
Up next, Teen Boys on Demand. Our Reveal investigation uncovers how DFACS unknowingly supplied sexual assault victims to a Georgia foster mom.
And there he is. Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb is live on Facebook as we speak, taking all of your weather questions. You can join the conversation right now on his Facebook page. We're going to catch up with him after the break. By the way, don't forget, we're streaming right now on 11Alive's YouTube channel. Subscribe and join the conversation in the community section. We've got more 11 Alive News Prime Time after the break.
Atlanta. Almost 6 million people call the Metro home. But what makes this place so great? I'm 11Alive's Chesley McNeil. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why Atlanta is the best city in America. Come on, man. It's the heart of the South. And it's one of the most diverse cities around. People from all walks of life have come here and made it home. From different backgrounds, languages, and religions, and who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on The Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Adults who were sexually abused as children can't sue the Georgia foster care system. We're one of the only states in the nation to exempt agencies from expanded statutes of limitations.
Yeah, that's right. So reveals Chief Investigator Brendan Keefe. He spoke with a man abused by his foster mom in the 1990s when he was just 15 years old.
You lost your virginity to your foster mother.
Yeah, she would watch pornographic videos, and she would point out what she liked me to try on her every night.
The Cherokee County Department of Family and Children's Services sent 15-year-old Daniel and other boys to live with Sherry Jo Wilkes. Court records show the foster mother specifically requested that boys be placed with her, and DFACS obliged because it was difficult to find homes that would accept teenage boys.
They put you in the hands of your abuser, quite literally.
Yeah, and I've told him that. I said, you know, you guys put me on a collision course with somebody that was going to alter my life forever.
Daniel wants to sue the Department of Family and Children's Services, but he can't. While Georgia briefly allowed adults to sue individuals who abused them decades earlier as children, it's one of only 2 states in the nation that prevented victims from suing entities like DFACS under that extended statute of limitations.
Sherry Jo Wilkes pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 10 years probation back in 1993. She now insists she's innocent and was forced to take a plea deal.
Yeah, so as for DFACS, the agency will not even acknowledge Daniel Hurtas was a foster kid in their system, but DFACS says it has now implemented new safety measures since the 1990s, and there is a bill pending right now in the General Assembly that would criminalize any sexual conduct between a foster parent with mandatory prison time.
The full story is tonight on Up Late at 11 and right now on 11alive.com.
I'm meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11Alive Storm Tracker, still talking to a lot of folks here on our Facebook page. You can see my phone right here that is showing up with a few people that are talking about confirmation of snow flurries that are coming down right now in the Blairsville area. We had a few other reports of that near Blairsville, also up into Sky Valley. So let me show you what we're watching out there right now. What you're seeing right here, that's a light that's on one of our cameras, and I'm going to show that to you coming up from the Blue Ridge area. All right, here's what we've got going on. Not a lot of moisture with this, but we do have a lot of cold air that is moving in right now, and that cold air is just wringing out the moisture out of the air. And with that, we have the reports of a few snow flurries around. It's not widespread. This isn't the type of thing that's going to cause a blizzard or anything, just a few snow flurries out there. I'm not expecting any here in Atlanta. That's changing over to a few little raindrops, but it's in North Georgia where we do see just a few of these flurries that are coming down, very spotty. Not everybody's getting hit. And from some of the reports that I've been getting from Facebook Live and from some of our 11Alive storm trackers, that it's kind of a quick system. It may snow a little bit and then stop and then snow again. So just really the spotty areas of snow. More of this is up into Tennessee, and we'll keep watching this moisture come down and clip North Georgia, and that's what's going to give them a few of those flurries. Here's a live look from our tower cam. This is in Blue Ridge. I've zoomed in really tight there. That's that light that you were just seeing behind me just a second ago. But I've zoomed in closer to those lights so that if we had any flurries there, we would be able to see them a little bit better. And again, I've had a few reports of flurries up in North Georgia, but nothing really major has been coming down there in North Georgia. So beautiful night there in Blue Ridge. Another thing that I want you to see from these banners on the streets, you see those blowing, those signs there? Very windy, not just in North Georgia, but it's windy everywhere, and that's making it feel a lot colder than the actual temperature. Here's a look again at that area where we could see a wintry mix. And we don't expect this to be a big impactful situation at all. In Northeast Georgia, in the higher elevations, possibly up to a ½ inch of accumulations there. And in Northwest Georgia, a dusting to maybe a quarter of an inch. And any moisture that is on the roads out there tonight could develop some slick spots up in North Georgia. But here in Atlanta, I don't even think we're going to see any more moisture coming in, maybe just a raindrop or two out there. Here's a look at the Euro forecast for tonight at 11 o'clock. You see just those very light amounts possible. By morning, not widespread at all. So a lot of people will not be seeing this snow. We're going to be dry on Thursday. And then on Friday, another round of moisture moves in with cold air in place. And we'll have another chance late Friday afternoon into the evening of a few flurries that might cause some accumulations Friday night and into Saturday morning. And that looks like it would be mainly over far North Georgia, maybe as far south as Pickens County, Gilmer, Fannin County, Towns, Union counties, maybe the northern parts of Lumpkin and White County, seeing some of those light accumulations. We don't think this is going to be a big impact either. So just know a couple of chances of some of those flurries around. Here we go tonight, where you can see that little bit of snow flurry activity up in North Georgia. And then the main thing is going to be the cold air in place. Right now it's 41 in Atlanta, 38 though in Carrollton, 37 in Canton. With that wind, it feels even colder. Blowing now northwest at 15 miles an hour makes it feel like it's 33 degrees. And tomorrow morning, I want you to bundle up when you head out. This is a look at what we're going to be watching with the wind chills. It's going to feel like it's 20 here in town, feeling like the teens to the north and west of the city. So we've got that partly cloudy sky here on Thursday with dry weather conditions. Once we get into Friday, 54 for a high, some showers late, maybe a flurry or two north. Saturday morning, any moisture moves out. We clear out and get up to 54. Sunday's the good day, 10 on the wazometer, a high of 61. Then a 20% chance for a shower Monday, 30% chance Tuesday, higher chances on Wednesday with temperatures back up to 70 degrees.
Last night, the top presidential candidates worked to sway undecided voters in yet another Democratic debate. And it was frontrunner Bernie Sanders taking the bulk of the shots from all sides as he tried to defend his progressive policies. Other candidates also sparred over a variety of hot topics, each trying to make their case for the presidency ahead of Saturday's primary and Super Tuesday. There were a lot of claims from the candidates, but was it all true? Jason Puckett with our Verified team is breaking them all down.
Debates are key events through primary season, so we're constantly checking to see if the candidates are telling the truth or lies. Right now, we're breaking down claims from the two candidates who've earned the most delegates so far. Up first with 45 delegates, Bernie Sanders.
You know what? For the ordinary American, things are not so good. Last year, real wage increases for the average worker were less than 1%. Half of our people are living paycheck to paycheck.
These claims are true. He talked about real wages. That's just wages that have been adjusted for inflation. Now, Bureau of Labor Statistics data showed that from January 2019 to January 2020, real wages increased by 0.6%. And two recent surveys, including this one from Charles Schwab, found between 49 and 59% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Both claims true. Next up with 25 delegates, Pete Buttigieg.
What is a radical idea is completely eliminating all private insurance. And part of how you know it is that no industrialized country has gone that far.
The claim that no industrial country has completely eliminated private insurance is true. A database by the Commonwealth Fund breaks down other countries' healthcare systems. It's dense. 2 main points. 1, most industrial countries have some form of universal healthcare. And 2, none of those countries completely eliminated private healthcare. Yes, they have some form of central government system, but private healthcare still exists to supplement or complement those programs. Sanders and Buttigieg currently have double-digit delegate leads, but the other 5 candidates also had plenty to say at the debate. We've got a thorough breakdown of all the candidates' claims up on our website. And if you see anything else you want us to check out, send us an email.
They're easy for kids to download, but apps can open the door for predators. A warning every parent needs to hear. That's next.
From all walks of life have come here and made it home. From different backgrounds, languages, and religions, and who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on the Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers. I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
The 11.
Okay, you know, cell phones, because that's what we have right here.
Yeah, I
you
have
got
two.
You
Yeah.
have 2 cell phones. So almost everyone has one, right, folks? But those phones can actually make it easy for predators to talk to your kids.
Hope Forward shows us the popular apps you need to watch out for.
Some popular names you might have heard of, like Bumble, but others you might go, what is that? So these apps can give a direct line between predators and your kids and teens. And some of them can reveal your child's location. They can open the door to online bullying or even allow your child the ability to hide their browser history. I'm talking about dating apps like Meet Me, Bumble, Grindr, apps with no age verification, so teens can get access. There's WhatsApp, where videos can be sent and live location shared. TikTok gives easy access to adult content. Kik is supposed to be for kids only, but anyone can join and direct message a child. And then there's calculator apps. They're meant to be disguised as a calculator, but check out the keypad. It's actually a door with a PIN number, allowing access to hidden videos, pictures, and browser history. And here's a quick way to tell if the calculator app is fake. The real calculator app has a picture of a mini calculator, not just plus or minus signs. And all of these apps are just a starting point because new ones pop up all the time.
A lot of times we have never heard of an app until we start working a case that involves
one of the up-and-coming new apps, whether it's a direct private messaging or an anonymous platform.
Elizabeth Prashad is a Marietta police cyber analyst. She sees a lot of cases of predators going after children and teens and sextortion.
We get some elementary school cases, we get middle school cases, we get high school cases.
Prashad says really be mindful of any app, even if your child has a restricted profile. Even mainstream apps like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter allow direct messaging and photo and video sharing with strangers.
It's hard to imagine that your 7-year-old or your 8-year-old might have someone telling them that they're attractive or asking them to lift up their shirt. But it happens, and it happens in places where parents think their children are completely safe.
And here's a bonus tip. Make sure your kids aren't downloading, deleting, then re-downloading the apps when you're not looking. So for iPhones, you can go to the App Store and click on that icon in the upper right corner. Then select Purchase. Then go to Not on this iPhone. And there you have it, a complete list of every app that has ever been downloaded from that account. For Android, same thing. Go to the Google Play Store app, tap My Apps and Games, and select all to see the list.
Oh boy, that's a lot to digest there. By the way, police say if you're really worried about an app, download it yourself and then give it a try.
Well, a few years ago, a car accident left a college runner with multiple fractures in her skull and neck. In 3 days, she'll be competing in the Olympic marathon trials. Her emotional comeback story next.
Rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And of course, I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibe. When you vibe with it, it's a good time. We don't worry about the hate, we just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hence. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun.
They're
And
a
they're
lot of fun.
convenient. But they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun. There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting.
Yeah.
We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
You see them all day, every day. Headlines, stats, and numbers, but without context, they're just clickbait. So let's add some perspective. The 3 most interesting numbers of the day, what they mean, and why they're important. News and numbers on Up Late.
You know, during Black History Month, it is important to remember those who came before us.
It's been more than 50 years since the death of Dr. King and more than a decade since America elected its first black president.
But who are our black leaders of today? And what are the main issues facing Black America? Natasha Lance answers those questions for us tonight.
Challenges of the past.
This is raw tyranny under the guise of maintaining law and order.
Teach us what we need for the future.
But it was for one reason, and that was because of the color of his skin.
The church has become more secular, and I think the black church in particular, as we have prospered, we have taken our eyes off of activism.
Pastor Lee Jenkins grew up believing black churches held a leadership role during the civil rights movement. It was the church that created leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and others of the movement.
We need that same type of sacrifice today.
Jenkins has made that sacrifice. He left a successful career as an investment advisor to answer a higher calling, becoming lead pastor at Eagles Nest Church in Alpharetta.
I just wanted to make more of an impact, again, on families and on people.
And race relations.
I don't feel like we're in a very good place. It just looks a little bit different, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
A few years ago, Jenkins jumped into that work with a new idea called the conversation movement.
But I would experience being called a spick to my face by a little old white lady I'd never seen before.
It's a joint effort between his church, predominantly black, and Roswell community, predominantly white.
So what we have tried to do in these small groups is to personalize all of our experiences. And then that leads to racial unity and understanding.
Every generation has to be a part of the freedom struggle, because if not, we lose ground.
Losing ground is not an option for Dr. Bernice King. As CEO of the King Center, she continues to pursue her father's quest for equality. She believes one of today's biggest issues is the racial wealth gap.
If there's some kind of disparity or some deficiency that a person has, wealth can put them in a position where they can overcome it.
King says conquering the divide and other racial challenges of our time doesn't require just one prominent leader like her dad.
I think it's less about the actual person and more about the collective as we move forward.
Democracy failed Georgia.
Since 2018, Stacey Abrams has become a political darling among Democrats. During her race for governor of Georgia, she came closer to winning than any other Democrat since 1966. Abrams never conceded to Brian Kemp. Instead, her voice got louder, pointing to voter suppression as one of the main reasons she lost.
During the 1960s, it was evidenced by Jim Crow laws that physically prevented you from voting. Billy clubs, hoses, dogs. But what it looks like today are administrative rules.
She created the voting rights advocacy group Fair Fight Action to fix the problem.
There's a danger inherent in anyone who denies democracy to an eligible citizen. Because when we break the machinery of democracy, we don't just break it for those we don't like, we break it for everyone.
Abrams has been named a leader for the Democratic Party, even mentioned as a possible VP running mate for whoever becomes the Democratic presidential nominee.
And as a black woman, as a woman of color, as a person of color, and as a woman, I think it is absolutely my responsibility to not shrink away from it.
Abrams has come to recognize the importance of her visibility.
There's a mural of my face on a building, and it's near where my nieces go to daycare. Knowing that my 4-year-old niece looks up every day and doesn't just see my face, but sees her potential and believes that it's possible, and that's what Black history is about.
For Abrams, her place in Black history is still being written. With certainty, she believes one day she will be president of the United States.
So we are part of a nation that has made it its mission to help lift everyone up, and we cannot be left behind.
If you want to hear similar stories and a chance to hear from other Atlanta pioneers, be sure to watch our Black History Month special. It's called Today's Pioneers and airs this Saturday night at 7 on 11Alive.
I'm meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11Alive Storm Trackers. You are looking here at radar where we are tracking some of these areas of moisture that are moving through. Here in Atlanta, this has mainly been in the form of just a few raindrops, but we're seeing some echoes up in North Georgia in the form of a few snow flurries. And on my Facebook Live just a little while ago, we had a lot of folks there, and on our 11Alive Community Storm Trackers page, folks who are confirming that they're actually seeing some snow flurries. Most of those reports have been coming from the Blairsville area and up towards Sky Valley and far northeast Georgia. But that moisture is really not that impressive, just enough of that moisture with the cold air coming in to wring out what is left of that in the form of a few snow flurries. We have some of that in Tennessee, the mountains of North Carolina, and a few of those will sweep over North Georgia tonight. Here's another live look. This is our live tower cam in Blue Ridge, and we're not seeing much in the form of snow flurries there. I zoomed in a little bit tighter to that light so we could see some of those, but we did have some reports on Facebook Live of even Blue Ridge seeing some light flurries, but they're just not showing up here on this tower cam. Stay with us. We have another chance for some snow late Friday into early Saturday, and that one is a little better chance in North Georgia. We'll break that down for you coming up.
All right, Chris, we'll see you in a couple of minutes, sir. You know, there is a push right now to allow people to carry guns inside places of worship. It's a controversial topic, and we want to know what you think about all of that. Just go to 11alive.com/vote and let us know. State Senate Bill 357 would allow people to carry guns inside places of worship. It would also allow guns inside faith-based schools, where the debate has been going on for years, and it recently came up once again. While some are against it, others say the reason one man was able to stop a shooter inside of a church in Texas, and that was because Jack Wilson is being hailed a hero tonight after stopping a shooter inside the West Freeway Church of Christ back in December. 3 people died, including the gunman. But police say Wilson's quick thinking prevented more people from dying. We're going to, of course, be monitoring the bill's status and see if it gains any type of traction this session.
Investigators believe they have identified remains that hunters found in Hall County months ago. It tops our speed feed. The sheriff's office says they are of a missing Flowery Branch man, Johnny Vickers. He was last seen in March of 2018. A pair of deer hunters stumbled upon his remains in December 2019. Investigators haven't determined a cause of death, but say they have ruled out foul play. And a 17-year-old is in jail for a shooting that landed an 11 and 18-year-old in the hospital. Brandon Nicanor Cruz turned himself into police. Cruz allegedly shot at 2 victims when they heard gunshots and walked outside to see what was going on. This happened in Buckhead back in December. Both victims survived. A federal appeals court has ruled the Department of Justice can refuse money to sanctuary cities. These are cities that withhold information about undocumented immigrants in their jails. 7 states have filed a lawsuit after the Justice Department announced it would not give these cities money from a federal grant. Federal law says local governments must provide information about the citizenship status of people they arrest.
You know, we're just 3 days away from the Olympic marathon trials, and the marathon is a true test of endurance and physicality, right? But for 24-year-old runner Megan Cunningham, she recently was just learning how to walk again after a car accident nearly ended her racing career. Maria Martin tells us how she defied the odds to race again.
I wasn't even thinking like regional level, much less Olympic trials.
Former Missouri Tiger Megan Cunningham started running in elementary school.
If you made the track team in elementary school, you got to miss a day of school.
Olympic dreams haven't come easy for Megan, nor did she even think that they were possible.
My junior year of high school, I got 99th place at the state meet. Even competing on any kind of national level was never even crossed my mind.
Then just after her sophomore year of college, her family's truck that was pulling a trailer for a camping trip flipped multiple times.
I was like aware of the situation, but I don't think I really put 2 and 2 together, like how seriously hurt I was.
Megan's skull was fractured in more than 20 places, and her neck was broken in multiple places as well.
For months, I couldn't even sit up on my own. They had to teach me how to walk again. I never thought of paralysis as even a possibility until I saw my dad.
Her father was paralyzed from the chest down.
So I was trying to do as much as I could independently just so that they didn't have to worry about me.
Despite the injuries from the accident, giving up running was never an option for Megan.
The second that they brought my phone to me, I texted my college coaches and told them, hey, I'm sorry, these are my injuries. I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna have to redshirt cross country. Hopefully I'll be back in time for track. Meanwhile, everyone's like, you can't even walk. You're not coming back ever. But in my mind, that was not an option.
And with the inspiration of showing her father anything is possible, she ran her way into the Olympic marathon trials.
I want my story to motivate people to never give up. With a little bit of patience and hard work, like, you're able to accomplish anything you set your mind to.
Man, what an inspiration for all of us. She and hundreds of others will compete in the U.S. Olympic Marathon Trials this Saturday, and you can watch the race right here on our sister station, 11Alive. Cheryl Preheim and Jeff Hollinger is going to bring you the coverage right up to the start of the race beginning at 11:30 a.m.
Police are looking for the person who stole a toddler's cancer medication. Her family's message to the thief next.
I'm Francesca Emmerker with the A Scene. It was quite the surprise for one couple at Disney World. The big surprise by a big name celeb. It's coming up in the A Scene.
Languages and religions, and who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on the Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscast not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy and Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alerts.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, homie, but I stay in the flow. See, I just do what I...
The family of a one-year-old girl battling cancer is now begging the thief who stole the child's medicine and medical records to return them. 11Alive's Caitlin Ross talked to the family on their way to yet another hospital visit.
This is our back window. Her car seat was filled with black glass.
Haley Ellen called police as soon as they came downstairs this morning.
I mean, it's just heartbreaking. We have a little girl fighting for her life, and we've been at the hospital so many times.
The thieves took her daughter Haley Holder's cancer diary, where the family has cataloged every step of their journey.
Her date of birth is on there, and you can tell she's 1.5 years old. Who would take that stuff?
They also stole the little girl's medication and the beads of courage she collects every time she completes a treatment.
Every poke, every scan, every chemo. And those are really sentimental. They're representative of her journey.
Her government laptop and her husband's Nintendo Switch were also stolen. She says the officer who took the report asked why she kept valuables in her car.
We are two extremely sleep-deprived parents trying to get a 1-year-old through chemo.
She says her husband had a GPS tracking device in his backpack. They tracked it to a house in South Atlanta.
An older gentleman opened the door and he refused to wake up his son. He said his son had just gotten home from work about an hour ago and he was sleeping, and so he wasn't going to wake him up.
Fulton County Police responded but told the family they couldn't go in without a warrant.
We have enough bad every day that it would be really nice for someone to just take a moment's pause and think about how this is affecting us and our daughter.
You know, the Allen family tells 11Alive they're not interested in pressing any charges and they don't want money for that broken window. They just want their daughter's medical records and beads of courage.
Still have a little bit of moisture out there with this cold air that's literally blowing in here tonight with really gusty winds, and temperatures falling during the evening hours. They're going to continue falling overnight as well. And as you can see, the moisture content in the air is not really that impressive out there tonight. We've had just a few little raindrops around metro Atlanta during the evening hours, and then over North Georgia we've had just a couple of spots with a few flurries, and it's not like it starts snowing and just keeps snowing. It's just kind of a little passing flurry that kind of goes by. We had reports of that up in the Blairsville area earlier, Blue Ridge, also up in the Sky Valley, some reports of some flurries that were coming in down there too, but it doesn't last very long, and then maybe you'll have another little wave of flurries coming by. And we're really not impressed with the moisture content with this. As I mentioned, a lot of this back into Tennessee is falling apart, but we'll just watch some of this just kind of sweep over far north Georgia. And I don't even think we'll see any snow flurries here in Atlanta, but maybe just some blowing flurries up in far north Georgia. There may be some spots in those higher elevations in northeast Georgia that could get up to a ½ inch of snow. And then in northwest Georgia, maybe a dusting or a 1/4 of an inch or less there. So just watch wherever we have any moisture that does come down, that some slick spots could develop because temperatures are going to be falling to below freezing. We have a lot of wind though, that any moisture on the ground is going to be drying up pretty quickly as well. So we don't think we'll have anything really widespread. Here's a look at some of those lighter accumulations possible during the overnight hours through tomorrow morning. So it's not that impressive, not a big coverage of the snow up there at all. And then as we go into Thursday, it's going to be dry. And then Friday, another system comes in that will give spots in North Georgia the chance for some accumulations. You can see this by Friday night and then overnight Friday into early Saturday morning. Maybe a little better coverage of some of these light accumulations up in North Georgia. Possibly those highest elevations could see an inch or more, but it won't last long up there. Now, temperatures really cold, 41 here in town at this hour. 39 in Covington. Look at Carrollton at 37, Canton at 37. So the cooler air is north and west of the city. It's a little milder here over in Athens and Eatonton, where it's in the mid-50s. But we do have wind. It's blowing in right now northwest at 15, but we do have some higher gusts. So that makes it feel even colder. It's a really blustery night out there. It feels like 33 here in Atlanta. Feels like it's below freezing in Marietta and Carrollton. Feels like the 20s at this hour in Blairsville. And these winds will continue overnight as the temperatures drop. By morning, all right, this is an update on this map. Earlier we were showing 20. We're now showing 19 will be the wind chill here in Atlanta. So it's going to feel like the teens over a big part of metro Atlanta and North Georgia, more like the 20s there on the south side. And then it'll still be rather breezy, but temperatures try to warm up. Those wind chills still around 33 by around lunchtime. So this is a look at that very low risk for snow tonight. Tomorrow it is going to be dry with partly cloudy skies during the day. We'll see some sunshine. It'll be a pretty good day. On Friday, some moisture returns. We'll see some of that in the form of some flurries up in far north Georgia. And then late Friday into Saturday, another little blip of moisture comes through here with that chance for just a few flurries to fall there. Again, not any major issues with that. Partly cloudy Thursday, 47 for a high. It's going to be a chilly day, up to 54 Friday with that next round of light rain and a few flurries in North Georgia, ending early on Saturday morning. And then clearing out Saturday with a high of 54. Sunday up to 61. Sunday's the best day, a 10 on the wasometer, mostly sunny, feeling good. Mid-60s Monday with a low rain chance, 30% chance Tuesday, and then Wednesday a 60% chance for showers with high temperatures Tuesday and Wednesday there in the lower 70s.
Today is Ash Wednesday. It marks the beginning of the 40 days of Lent, but a local pastor is using it to bridge the gap between the church and the LGBTQ community. Today, hundreds participated in Glitter Ash Wednesday. Ashes mixed with glitter were offered to Beltline walkers. Associate Pastor Colin Holt says it's a way to show the LGBTQ community that it has the church's support.
There are so many LGBTQ human beings out there who are under the impression that Christians hate them or that God hates them. And if I can counter that with just for one or two people today, it was worth it.
This is the event's fourth year. Pastor Holt says the ashes represent remorse and the glitter represents solidarity.
All right, folks, you know what time it is. You see your screen. It is time for Wednesday's edition of The A Scene, and we are kicking off with a celebrity spotting with a twist. Guess what Atlanta artist was seen hoedowing at Disney? Yes, that is Lithia Springs' very own Lil Nas X crashing a wedding at Disney World over the weekend in Orlando. He shared this video on his Twitter, and you can see him escort the bride into her reception to his song, Old Town Road. Now, he was wearing a matching white suit, but, you know, judging by all the clapping and the screaming, we think it's safe to say the bride sure didn't mind any competition. And the Freeform show, Grownish, starring Atlanta's own Chloe and Halle Bailey, is in the midst of season 3. It's junior year, and everything is changing. In fact, show stars Chloe Bailey and son of Russell Simmons, Diggy Simmons, stopped by recently to tell us about working on the show.
I think it's so important for, you know, all people of color to see proper representation in a positive way that's not stereotypical. And I'm really happy and proud to be a part of a show that does that.
And for people to, you know, be like, this happened to me, or, you know, this was kind of my college experience. So for people to be heard with that type of experience is cool.
It's going to be a good one, and Grownish season 3, all of it can be streamed right now on Freeform.
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers. I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie!
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alert.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, call me, but I stay in the flow. See, I just do what I say I'm gonna do. No, my movement ain't faded. You could assume it.
Oh, and so I was saying, there is always something filming here in Atlanta. From movies to TV shows, you name it. And so the A Scene keeps up with all of it for you. Casting calls, which big celebrities are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right. Ah, it's in my drafts. That's my bad.
So you slept in and you missed Morning Rush, huh? Well, here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
Stop.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
Jess.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't
Oh, somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews.
Really cold and windy out there tonight. It's going to get down to 31 in the morning, but it's going to feel like it's around 20, even some upper teens early in the morning. We get up to 47. We're watching a few areas of just light snow flurries over North Georgia. That'll move out pretty quickly tonight. Then dry weather Thursday, another round of moisture coming in Friday. That could also shake out a few flurries over far North Georgia Friday night into Saturday morning. Then we clear out Saturday. Sunday looks great. And then the rain chances coming back next week, and we warm up 70 degrees on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Nice. All right, we can get through this. We can do it. Hey, Primetime is going to roll on at 10 o'clock. Stick around. We'll be here.
Five minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Block on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And of course, I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout-out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibe with it. It's a good time. We don't worry about the hate. We just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hints. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun. And they're
lot of fun.
convenient. But they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun. There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting. We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m.
You see them all day, every day. Headlines, stats, and numbers, but without context, they're just clickbait. So let's add some perspective. The 3 most interesting numbers of the day. What
11Alive News Primetime on the ATL starts now.
Today, President Trump addressed fears over the spread of the coronavirus. This comes as the White House faced some really tough criticism for downplaying the potential of an outbreak here in the U.S.
And President Trump has assembled a task force led by Vice President Mike Pence. The president says the safety of the American people is his #1 priority.
Because of all we've done, the risk to the American people remains very low. We're ready to adapt, and we're ready to do whatever we have to as the disease spreads, if it spreads.
The virus now has spread across Asia, appeared in parts of Europe and in Iran, with more than 80 cases and 80,000 cases reported worldwide. The U.S. has right now 15 cases and no confirmed cases here in Georgia.
The CDC says it's not changing anything for airport screenings beyond what's already been in place as far as checking passengers on certain flights for symptoms.
So how is Georgia preparing? Joe Hankey explains.
To date, our containment strategies have been largely successful.
But as new research comes in, Dr. Nancy Messner with the CDC is asking everyone to begin preparing for the chance of coronavirus spreading in the U.S.
I understand this whole situation may seem overwhelming and that disruption to everyday life may be severe.
In Georgia, Governor Brian Kemp says his office began preparing weeks ago.
We have been on conference calls and in meetings for the last 3 weeks or so in preparation for the what if.
Kemp says the Georgia Department of Health and individual counties will handle any outbreak in Georgia.
They have been working on that for weeks and weeks now, and we'll be ready for whatever comes, and hopefully it won't be much.
Kurt Harris, director of University of Georgia's Institute for Disaster Management, says plans the state health department put in place to deal with Ebola are still in place and can be used to battle the coronavirus if needed.
In Georgia, they developed an entire infectious disease network. They knew of the potential of other infectious diseases to happen within the United States.
The CDC on Tuesday listed how everyone should prepare for a future outbreak. Schools should plan to put students in small groups or close schools and use internet-based teaching options. Businesses should prepare to replace in-person meetings with conference calls and allow employees to telework. Hospitals would need to delay some elective surgeries and increase telehealth options. And communities would need to modify, postpone, or cancel large gatherings. For individuals right now, Harris says remaining informed is key.
We don't want to get into an issue of kind of fear-mongering where things are being put out there that just simply aren't true. So making sure that you're getting information from either your CDC or your State Department of Public Health or World Health Organization and not buying into kind of propaganda.
The CDC also says to prepare, you should consider how a coronavirus outbreak could impact your day-to-day life. They recommend asking your school what plans they have in place. Make your own plan for childcare if your child's school or daycare closes. Also ask your employer if they have some teleworking options in place.
So with a growing number of coronavirus cases in Italy, several universities are canceling or they are adjusting their study abroad programs. According to CNBC, Italy is the second most popular study abroad location for students. Nearly 37,000 Americans studied there during 2017 and 2018 in the school year. The University System of Georgia says it only recommends schools change study abroad plans when the CDC issues a level 3 travel warning. Right now, the warning for Italy is sitting at a level 2. The university system says it will continue to watch travel warnings because they can change at any time. So far, other colleges and universities that we reached out to have not said whether they will change their study abroad plans or bring students home. Earlier this month, schools in the university system, including Georgia Tech and UGA, canceled programs in China and South Korea because of the virus.
You can download the 11Alive app to see our previous coverage on the coronavirus, including the symptoms and how the virus spreads.
I'm Hope Ford with new information in the murder case of Anitra Gunn. You're now looking at the second person arrested in the case.
Enough probable cause has been established to charge Javon Abram, black male, 22 years of age, with 2 counts of false statements and 1 count of concealing a death.
Abram's arrest comes just days after Gunn's boyfriend, DeMarcus Little, was charged with the Fort Valley student's murder. The GBI says Gunn, Little, and Abram all knew each other. Abram is a high school friend of Little who is accused of strangling Gunn. Investigators didn't say what the false statements were or how Abram allegedly concealed the death, but the GBI did say Abrams is charged with making false statements in his hometown of Valdosta, but charged with concealing a death in Peach County, where the Atlanta native's body was found. Outside of the new arrest, investigators say they found Gunn's missing phone, but are still looking for the missing front bumper of her car.
It's a piece of evidence that we need to locate.
The GBI says they expect more arrests to come. When asked if Abrams is suspected of helping to kill or move the body of Gunn, the GBI said no comment.
Tonight, we're tracking rain and some seriously cold temperatures and the potential for some snow up north.
Our chief meteorologist, Chris Holcomb, now joins us. And Chris, what's it going to look like overnight into the morning?
You know, this moisture is very limited now. We had some of those showers earlier that have moved out, and now just dealing with a couple little raindrops around metro Atlanta, nothing really major at all. And even up in North Georgia, we've been watching some spots with some snow flurries, and on my Facebook Live about an hour ago, I had a few folks on there confirming flurries up in the Blairsville area, up around Blue Ridge and into Sky Valley, but it just kind of would hit for a little bit and then stop, and then a few additional flurries would fly by as well. We're not seeing any accumulations there. I did have one report in Blairsville of a little bit of those snow flurries sticking onto the hood and roofs of some cars. And you can see this moisture coming in from the north. What's happening is we have really cold air that's literally blowing in here with those winds that you're feeling out there, and that's wringing out any leftover moisture from the atmosphere, and that's in the form of just a few snow flurries around. This is a live look in Blue Ridge. I've zoomed in a little bit tighter since it's dark out there to get closer to the lights, so in case we had any light snow, we could see that. We're not seeing any of that in Blue Ridge right now, even though we had a few reports of that earlier in the Blue Ridge area. These are the spots in North Georgia that have the potential for some of that snow. We don't think it's going to be a big impact event, but maybe higher elevations could see a ½ inch in Northeast Georgia, Northwest Georgia, maybe a ¼ inch, and any moisture on the ground in those areas could develop a few slick spots. Stay with us. We have yet another system that could bring us another round of snow flurries late Friday into Saturday. We'll talk about which areas could see snow then.
All right, Chris, thank you. Justice delayed, but the man accused of committing a horrific series of 12 rapes in Atlanta beginning 18 years ago has been found guilty. DeAndre Shabazz convicted today of all 12 rapes. Here's John Chiric.
The accused rapist himself testified.
My name is DeAndre Shabazz.
DeAndre Shabazz telling the jury that after all these years, he still remembers some of the 12 Atlanta women accusing him of rape and insists they were all consensual partners.
I picked her and her pimp up.
Some of the women, prostitutes. Fulton County prosecutors, led by Juliana Peterson, presented evidence that during a 3-year series of rapes beginning in 2002, Shabazz violently assaulted the women at gunpoint.
When he hit her in the cheek with that gun.
The women called police and they submitted sexual assault kits, but their rape kits sat on a shelf untested for years.
These women have been through hell and back.
Then the Fulton County DA's office intervened, got the GBI to test the DNA in those rape kits.
Do you need more evidence?
Containing the DNA of DeAndre Shabazz.
Guilty.
The jury declared justice, finally, for 12 women. He'll be sentenced next week.
President Trump started his news conference on the coronavirus with the word to the victims of this afternoon's deadly mass shooting in Milwaukee.
Earlier today, a wicked murderer opened fire at a Molson Coors Brewing Company plant, taking the lives of 5 people. A number of people were wounded, some badly wounded. Our hearts break for them and their loved ones. We send our condolences. We'll be with them.
Tonight, we've learned those 5 people killed were all employees at the Molson Coors Brewery. It was the middle of the afternoon when the first shots were fired at the city's most famous brewery. Once reports came in, police secured the scene and put the campus on lockdown before moving in. Police say the shooter, who was identified as a 51-year-old man, then turned the gun on himself.
Terrifying moments at a Metro Atlanta Walmart when a man was shot in the chest in the parking lot. It happened at the store on Old National Highway in South Fulton. Police say the man tried to run into the store for help, but then collapsed. Moments later, he died. Police have not said what led up to that shooting.
Atlanta police are investigating a body found off of Jonesboro Road. The person who called police says they found the body near the woods around 3:30 this afternoon. Police say the man appeared to have injuries to his face.
A bill in the Georgia legislature would cap the skyrocketing price of insulin, and it would require drug companies would sell insulin to disclose their costs. 11Alive's Doug Richards takes a look at how it will work.
This is a Republican bill that really targets the pharmaceutical companies that market and set prices for insulin.
I was diagnosed at the age of 7 in 2nd grade.
Dan Thrailkill has taken insulin injections every day for 3 decades. He's watched the price of insulin soar.
That's when we really started to see insulin costs skyrocket, going up to $400, $500, $600, $700 a box, say for a box of 6 insulin pens.
The American Diabetes Association says drug companies tripled the price of insulin between 2002 and 2013.
It's a 100-plus-year-old drug.
Republican State Senator Burt Jones says the spike in the price of insulin is puzzling.
When you can go to other countries and see it for a third of the price, it just makes you wonder why is it so much more expensive here?
Jones has introduced a bill he calls the Diabetes Drug Transparency Act. It would cap the price of a vial of insulin at $150. It would also make drug companies report their cost to produce insulin, the cost of advertising and marketing insulin, their annual profit from insulin, an explanation for price increases, and the amount of financial assistance they give to patients who need it. It also requires detailed info from insurers and pharmacy providers. Thrailkill says it's unclear to him what, if anything, can keep insulin costs down.
I'm in favor of a lot of that stuff, but I'm also cautiously optimistic to see what the results of some of these programs and bills and conversations that are going on, what the results actually lead to.
The state of Nevada enacted a similar law in 2017 that advocates describe as groundbreaking. The question is whether Georgia will follow suit between now and the time the legislature adjourns this spring.
Police are looking for the person who stole a toddler's cancer medication. Her family's message to the thief next. Televised newscast not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Mom, where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers, I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie!
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm gonna be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alert.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
The family of a 1-year-old girl battling cancer is begging the thief who stole their child's medicine and medical records to return them.
Caitlin Ross talked to the family on their way to yet another hospital visit.
This is our back window. Her car seat was filled with black glass.
Haley Ellen called police as soon as they came downstairs this morning.
I mean, it's just heartbreaking. You know, we have a little girl fighting for her life, and we've been at the hospital so many times.
The thieves took her daughter Haley Holder's cancer diary, where the family has cataloged every step of their journey.
Her date of birth is on there, and you can tell she's 1.5 years old. Who would take that stuff?
They also stole the little girl's medication and the beads of courage she collects every time she completes a treatment.
Every poke, every scan, every chemo, and those are really sentimental. They're representative of her journey.
Her government laptop and her husband's Nintendo Switch were also stolen. She says the officer who took the report asked why she kept valuables in her car.
We are two extremely sleep-deprived parents trying to get a 1-year-old through chemo.
She says her husband had a GPS tracking device in his backpack. They tracked it to a house in South Atlanta.
An older gentleman opened the door and he refused to wake up his son. He said his son had just gotten home from work about an hour ago and he was sleeping, and so he wasn't going to wake him up.
Fulton County Police responded but told the family they couldn't go in without a warrant.
We have enough bad every day that it would be really nice for someone to just take a moment's pause and think about how this is affecting us and our daughter.
Atlanta police stress not to ever leave anything of value in your car. The Allen family is not interested in pressing charges. They don't want the money back for the broken window. They just want their daughter's medical records and beads of courage back.
What an awful story that is,
Yeah.
isn't it terrible? Let's hope they find it. A chance for snow in North Georgia and more chilly temperatures here in Metro Atlanta.
Checking in with the chief tonight, who's talking about a burr out there.
It is really burr out there, and the wind makes it feel even worse. That's the main thing when you step outside. The wind really gets you with that cold air that is blowing in here. We have just really limited moisture out there tonight. We had a few showers earlier today, and that's been tapering off, and now we just have a little bit of moisture coming in. There might be a few additional raindrops here in the Metro Atlanta area, but we're watching up in North Georgia where we've seen some spots with a few snow flurries a little bit earlier. I had reports up in Blairsville of a little bit of snow that was trying to collect on the hood and the roof of some of the cars up there, and even in Sky Valley we had reports of some snow flurries there too. Nothing widespread, not causing any issues on the road, not much with accumulations either. And the moisture was a little more impressive up in Tennessee earlier, but a lot of that is still falling apart. But this is really all we have out there. It's just going to kind of swing down into parts of North Georgia with just a few flurries before things dry out a little bit more tomorrow. It's just this really cold air that's diving down from the north, and what that's doing is it's just wringing out any leftover moisture in the atmosphere, causing a few of those snow flurries there. Here's what we're watching. It is a very chilly night out there where we have that wintry mix possible over far North Georgia. Again, maybe up to a ½ inch of some snow in those higher elevations. We just got a report from the Cohutta Mountains that the ground is a little bit white there. That's at a really high elevation though. In northwest Georgia, they can see up to a quarter of an inch. And these accumulations are not going to be that widespread. This is what we're watching for tonight, just a little bit of that. And then as another round comes in, Friday into early on Saturday, we may see a little bit more of some of those accumulations there Friday into Saturday, covering North Georgia, possibly 1 inch or more in those higher elevations. But again, in Atlanta, we don't think we would see any accumulations here. This is a look at our forecast track, one of our short-term models that updates a little more regularly, and it just shows just a little bit of that up in North Georgia. And then by tomorrow, we start drying out. We'll see the sunshine returning. Tomorrow's going to be a pretty nice day. It's going to start off really cold, though. And when I'm talking cold, I'm not only talking about the temperatures, but that wind is going to make it feel even colder. 41 is our temperature right now in Atlanta. 43 in Athens, 45 in Eatonton. You see the colder air that's west and north of the city, 37 in Carrollton, 37 in Canton, 38 in Gainesville, 33 right now in Blairsville. But it feels a lot colder with that wind that's blowing in from the northwest at 15 miles an hour. Feels like it's 33 here, feels like freezing in Covington. Feels like it's 30 in Canton, feels like it's in the 20s in Blairsville and in Clayton. And here's a look at those wind chills for the overnight hours. You're going to see these really diving down into the 20s. By tomorrow morning at 6, it'll feel like 22, 21 at 8 o'clock. I even saw a couple of models showing it dipping down to maybe 19 for the wind chill here in Atlanta early in the morning. But then we'll see some sunshine during the day. And it's going to be slow to warm tomorrow. We'll have breezy conditions out there. We'll get up to only 47 in the afternoon. But there's that wind coming our way, and dry weather conditions here Thursday, Friday. Watching the next system that will bring in some moisture that comes in later on Friday, northwest Georgia or northeast Georgia, maybe seeing some flurries with that in the afternoon, and then overnight into early Saturday. A couple of other areas might see a few flurries there with some of those lighter accumulations. So here's what we're watching. 47 for a high on Thursday with decreasing clouds, and then Friday dry early with a few showers later in the day, maybe a few flurries to the north, but highs here will be 54. We're down to 34 in the morning on Saturday, and then we rebound up to 54 once again with clearing skies. Sunday looks like the best day of the 7-day period, a 10 on the wazometer, highs near 61. Monday a few more clouds and 65, where we get back to a 20% chance for a shower, 30% chance Tuesday, Wednesday 60% chance. It's going to be warm with temperatures in the 70s. Look at this weather wow moment for today, and we have to go all the way to China to see these beautiful cherry blossom trees that are blooming there. But the only problem is many of those botanical gardens are closed because of the coronavirus outbreak. So some places are holding online tours video tours for people to see these beautiful sights from home so they don't have to get out and risk the spread of the coronavirus. So we would love for you to be a part of our Weather Wow moment, and all you have to do is join our Storm Trackers page on Facebook, search 11Alive Storm Trackers. Ask to become a member of that group. We have thousands of members of the Storm Trackers page where we share pictures, videos, and weather information from all across the area.
I'm Francesca Emmerker with the A-Scene. It was quite the surprise for one couple at Disney World. The big surprise by a big-name celeb. It's coming up in the A-Scene.
Here, businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all help shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks' Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on The Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers. I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alert.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey! All right, folks, you know what time it is. You see your screen. It is time for Wednesday's edition of the A-Scene, and we are kicking off with a celebrity spotting with a twist. Guess what? Atlanta artist was seen hoedowing at Disney. Yes, that is Lithia Springs' very own Lil Nas X crashing a wedding at Disney World over the weekend in Orlando. He shared this video on his Twitter, and you can see him escort the bride into her reception to his song, Old Town Road. Now, he was wearing a matching white suit, but, you know, judging by all the clapping and the screaming, we think it's safe to say the bride sure didn't mind any competition. And the Freeform show, Grownish, starring Atlanta's own Chloe and Halle Bailey, is in the midst of season 3. It's junior year, and everything is changing. In fact, show stars Chloe Bailey and son of Russell Simmons, Diggy Simmons, stopped by recently to tell us about working on the show.
I think it's so important for, you know, all people of color to see proper representation in a positive way that's not stereotypical, and I'm really happy and proud to be a part of a show that does that.
And for people to, you know, be like, this happened to me, or, you know, this was kind of my college experience. So for people to be heard with that type of experience is cool.
It's going to be a good one, and Grownish season 3, all of it can be streamed right now on Freeform.
All right, thanks, Fran. I'm headed out to get ready for Up Late. Coming up in about 35 minutes, myself and Ron Jones and Chris Holcomb. We'll see you there with more news and weather.
This is your Friday. You're off on Friday.
It is. I will see you Tuesday, friend.
Very good. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy
Thank you.
it. All right, they are easy for kids to download, but the apps can open the door for predators. A warning every parent needs to hear coming up next.
Right.
about that?
Well, reward would be
Slimming down. Okay.
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, a little water in my
yes.
cup.
And beautiful skin. Even more beautiful skin, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not going to be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone. Have it with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. Only on 11Alive.
Some mornings, what you want isn't what you have time for. And that's why there's the Rush Blog, the biggest news of the day in 5 minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Blog on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And of course, I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibe. We vibe with it, it's a good time. We don't worry about the hate, we just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hence. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can find it on the East Side Trail under Virginia Avenue. So let me know what you think. It doesn't have to be street art. Maybe your favorite spot is down the street from your home or a great view. Connect with me on Facebook and Instagram and share your favorite Instagram spots in Atlanta. And come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun.
And they're
convenient. But they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun. There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting.
Yeah.
We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m.
You see them all day, every day. Headlines, stats, and numbers, but without context, they're just clickbait. So
Cell phones can make it easy for predators to talk to your children. Hope Ford shows us the popular apps you need to watch out for.
Some popular names you might have heard of, like Bumble, but others you might go, what is that? So these apps can give a direct line between predators and your kids and teens. And some of them can reveal your child's location. They can open the door to online bullying or even allow your child the ability to hide their browser history. I'm talking about dating apps like Meet Me, Bumble, Grindr, apps with no age verification, so teens can get access. There's WhatsApp, where videos can be sent and live location shared. TikTok gives easy access to adult content. Kik is supposed to be for kids only, but anyone can join and direct message a child. And then there's calculator apps. They're meant to be disguised as a calculator, but check out the keypad. It's actually a door with a PIN number. allowing access to hidden videos, pictures, and browser history. And here's a quick way to tell if the calculator app is fake. The real calculator app has a picture of a mini calculator, not just plus or minus signs. And all of these apps are just a starting point because new ones pop up all the time.
A lot of times we have never heard of an app until we start working a case that involves one of the up-and-coming new apps, whether it's a direct private messaging or an anonymous platform.
Elizabeth Prashad is a Marietta police cyber analyst. She sees a lot of cases of predators going after children and teens and sextortion.
We get some elementary school cases, we get middle school cases, we get high school cases.
Prashad says really be mindful of any app, even if your child has a restricted profile. Even mainstream apps like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter allow direct messaging and photo and video sharing with strangers.
It's hard to imagine that your 7-year-old or your 8-year-old might have someone telling them that they're attractive or asking them to lift up their shirt. But it happens, and it happens in places where parents think their children are completely safe.
And here's a bonus tip. Make sure your kids aren't downloading, deleting, then re-downloading the apps when you're not looking. So for iPhones, you can go to the App Store and click on that icon in the upper right corner. Then select Purchase. Then go to Not on this iPhone. And there you have it, a complete list of every app that has ever been downloaded from that account. For Android, same thing. Go to the Google Play Store app, tap My Apps and Games, and select All to see the list.
A push to allow residents to carry guns inside places of worship. It is controversial. State Senate Bill 357 would allow people to carry guns inside worship places. It would also allow guns inside faith-based schools. The debate on this goes back years, but has recently come up again. While some are against it, others say it is the reason that one man was able to stop that shooter inside of a Texas church. Jack Wilson was hailed a hero after stopping a shooter inside West Freeway Church of Christ back in December. 3 people died, including the gunman, but police say Wilson's quick thinking prevented more people from dying. We'll keep an eye on the bill's status, and we'll see if it gains any traction this session. A 17-year-old in jail for shooting. A shooting that landed an 11 and 18-year-old in the hospital. Brandon Nicanor Cruz turned himself into police. Cruz allegedly shot 2 victims when they heard the gunshots and walked outside to see what was going on in Buckhead back in December. Both survived. A federal appeals court has ruled the Department of Justice can refuse money to sanctuary cities. They are the cities that withhold information about undocumented immigrants inside their jails. Several states had filed a lawsuit against the Justice Department, announcing it would not give these cities money from a federal grant. Federal law says local governments must provide information about the citizenship and the status of people they arrest. Last night, the top presidential candidates worked to sway undecided voters in a Democratic debate, and it was frontrunner Bernie Sanders taking the bulk of the shots from all sides as he defended his progressive policies. Other candidates also sparred over a variety of hot topics, each trying to make their case for the presidency ahead of Saturday's primary in South Carolina in Super Tuesday. There were a lot of claims from the candidates, but are they all true? Here's Jason Puckett with our Verify team breaking down some of the biggest ones.
Debates are key events through primary season, so we're constantly checking to see if the candidates are telling the truth or lies. Right now, we're breaking down claims from the 2 candidates who've earned the most delegates so far. Up first with 45 delegates, Bernie Sanders.
You know what? For the ordinary American, things are not so good. Last year, real wage increases for the average worker were less than 1%. Half of our people are living paycheck to paycheck.
These claims are true. He talked about real wages. That's just wages that have been adjusted for inflation. Now, Bureau of Labor Statistics data showed that from January 2019 to January 2020, real wages increased by 0.6%. And 2 recent surveys, including this one from Charles Schwab, found between 49 and 59% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Both claims true. Next up with 25 delegates, Pete Buttigieg.
What is a radical idea is completely eliminating all private insurance. And part of how you know it is that no industrialized country has gone that far.
The claim that no industrial country has completely eliminated private insurance is true. A database by the Commonwealth Fund breaks down other countries' healthcare systems. It's dense. 2 main points. 1, most industrial countries have some form of universal healthcare. And 2, None of those countries completely eliminated private health care. Yes, they have some form of central government system, but private health care still exists to supplement or complement those programs. Sanders and Buttigieg currently have double-digit delegate leads, but the other 5 candidates also had plenty to say at the debate. We've got a thorough breakdown of all the candidates' claims up on our website. And if you see anything else you want us to check out, send us an email.
During Black History Month in February, always important to think and to acknowledge and to reflect on the impact that African Americans have made in this country before we were a country, and what they have meant to this society and continue to make. The question is, what is the future and where are the leaders? What are some of the issues facing Black America? Natisha Lance answers those questions for us tonight.
Challenges of the past.
This is raw tyranny under the guise of maintaining law and order.
Teach us what we need for the future.
But it was for one reason, and that was because of the color of his skin.
The church has become more secular, and I think the Black church in particular, as we have prospered, we have taken our eyes off of activism.
Pastor Lee Jenkins grew up believing Black churches held a leadership role during the Civil Rights Movement. It was the church that created leaders like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and others of the movement.
We need that same type of sacrifice today.
Jenkins has made that sacrifice. He left a successful career as an investment advisor to answer a higher calling, becoming lead pastor at Eagles Nest Church in Alpharetta.
I just wanted to make more of an impact, again, on families and on people.
And race relations.
I don't feel like we're in a very good place. It just looks a little bit different, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
A few years ago, Jenkins jumped into that work with a new idea called the conversation movement.
That I would experience being called a spick to my face by a little white lady I'd never seen before.
It's a joint effort between his church, predominantly Black, and Roswell community, predominantly white.
So what we have tried to do in these small groups is to personalize all of our experiences. And then that leads to racial unity and understanding.
Every generation has to be a part of the freedom struggle, because if not, we lose ground.
Losing ground is not an option for Dr. Bernice King. As CEO of the King Center, she continues to pursue her father's quest for equality. She believes one of today's biggest issues is the racial wealth gap.
If there's some kind of disparity or some deficiency that a person has, wealth can put them in a position where they can overcome it.
King says conquering the divide and other racial challenges of our time doesn't require just one prominent leader like her dad.
I think it's less about the actual person and more about the collective as we move forward.
Democracy failed Georgia.
Since 2018, Stacey Abrams has become a political darling among Democrats. During her race for governor of Georgia, she came closer to winning than any other Democrat since 1966. Abrams never conceded to Brian Kemp. Instead, her voice got louder, pointing to voter suppression as one of the main reasons she lost.
During the 1960s, it was evidenced by Jim Crow laws that physically prevented you from voting. Billy clubs, hoses, dogs. But what it looks like today are administrative rules.
She created the voting rights advocacy group Fair Fight Action to fix the problem.
There's a danger inherent in anyone who denies democracy to an eligible citizen. Because when we break the machinery of democracy, we don't just break it for those we don't like, we break it for everyone.
Abrams has been named a leader for the Democratic Party, even mentioned as a possible VP running mate for whoever becomes the Democratic presidential nominee.
And as a Black woman, as a woman of color, as a person of color, and as a woman, I think it is absolutely my responsibility to not shrink away from it.
Abrams has come to recognize the importance of her visibility.
There's a mural of my face on a building, and it's near where my nieces go to daycare. Knowing that my 4-year-old niece looks up every day and doesn't just see my face, but sees her potential and believes that it's possible, and that's what Black history is about.
For Abrams, her place in Black history is still being written. With certainty, she believes one day she will be president of the United States.
So we are part of a nation that has made it its mission to help lift everyone up, and we cannot be left behind.
If you want to hear similar stories and an opportunity to hear from other Atlanta pioneers, be sure to watch our Black History Month special. It is called Today's Pioneers. It airs Saturday night at 7 on 11Alive. After the break, what a 6-year-old girl did to be placed in handcuffs during the middle of a school day. There is an absence of common sense here.
And we're watching radar tonight as we have a little bit of moisture still left with the cold air that's moving in, shaking out a few flurries over parts of North Georgia. We'll tell you about yet another chance for some snow later in the week coming up.
Also, a few years ago, a car accident left a college runner with multiple fractures in her skull and neck. In 3 days, she will be competing in the Olympic marathon trials in downtown Atlanta. Her story coming up.
This city has something for every kind of sports fan. So what do you think? Is Atlanta the best city in America? Connect with us. Use Facebook or Instagram and tell us why this city's got it going on. And then watch us every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on the Morning Rush on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Babe, where are my keys?
Where's my lunch?
Where's my phone? Hey, where's my blue shirt?
Where's my pen? Have you seen it?
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
I woke up at 2 in the morning to be here. Where were you?
Once you allow it, right, then it sets you up for the entire week where you just have lost it.
Like on a Sunday, it's like, oh, let's just order some Chinese food, and of course you wind up eating tons of that. And then on Monday, you're like, well, I got leftovers. I can't let it go to waste.
Auntie wants to give you a plate to take home from the barbecue.
Auntie.
No.
Auntie, don't invite me to the barbecue.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
The 11Alive app is your go-to source for all things Atlanta.
You hear what happened today? I'll tell you all about it.
Breaking news the moment it happens.
The boil water advisory.
Hyper-local, accurate weather alerts.
You may want to grab that sweater, maybe even a coat.
More stories to uncover. More videos to discover.
He did it his way.
Personalized for you.
And that's what makes it so special.
The 11Alive app. Available now in the App Store.
Hey, I got the ways to go. I got moves to make, call me, but I stay in the flow. See, I just do what I say I'm gonna do. No, my movement ain't faded. You could assume what I'm doing was great.
Oh, and so I was saying, there is always something filming here in Atlanta. From movies to TV shows, you name it. And so the A Scene keeps up with all of it for you. Casting calls, which big celebrities are in town, what's filming, and if it's in your neighborhood. It's like an inside scoop.
Oh, nice. But you know, I really wish you would have told us we were filming this today.
Ooh, did I not text you? All right. Ah, it's in my drafts. That's my bad.
So you slept in and you missed Morning Rush, huh? Well, here's what you missed. In my experience, good guys do finish last.
I consider myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Tell
It is the arrest sparking nationwide outrage. Body cam video shows the moments an officer handcuffed a 6-year-old girl while she was at school. It is the story everybody's talking about online, and now the officer involved is out of a job. Here's NBC's Miguel Almaguer.
The arrest happened inside an Orlando charter school.
Come over here.
What are those for?
It's for you.
Former resource officer Dennis Turner telling another officer in this video to put a 6-year-old in restraints.
No, I don't want handcuffs on. No, don't put handcuffs on. Help me.
The incident, captured on body cam last September, unfolding after staff complained the little girl was acting out.
You don't want to? No, please. You have to. No, please. Give me a second.
The child hauled away to a squad car, begging to be let go. In his police report, Turner said staff wanted to press charges, which the school denies. The video shows employees asking if restraints are necessary.
Yes. And if she was bigger, she would have been wearing regular handcuffs. But
Turner then says his latest arrest is a new milestone.
6,000 people I've arrested over the 28 years. 7 is the youngest. She's 8, isn't she? She's 6. Now she has broken the record.
With all charges dropped against the 6-year-old, days later, Turner was out of a job. Perhaps a bigger lesson learned at school that day.
Keeping an eye on a little bit of moisture out there as this cold air blows in. It is making some of that moisture fall out of the sky in the form of a few flurries in North Georgia. We've had just a couple of raindrops here in the metro Atlanta area this evening. This isn't going to be a big snow event. We're just going to have a few flurries up in northwest Georgia, North Georgia, and northeast Georgia, and some of that coming out of Tennessee. A lot of that, as you can see, it's not a real organized large area of snow coming in. It's just a few little snow showers that are passing through Tennessee, and some of that will be sweeping over far north Georgia. These are the counties most likely of seeing some snow. Not necessarily all of those counties are going to see accumulation, just a few blowing flurries there. There will be some isolated spots up in northeast Georgia, especially those higher elevations that could see up to a ½ inch of snow. Northwest Georgia, maybe a dusting in some spots, possibly up to about a ¼ of an inch of snow. Just watch that any moisture that's out there tonight could potentially turn slick up in North Georgia. Here in metro Atlanta, we just don't have a lot of moisture left on the ground, and the wind is blowing pretty hard, so that's drying up anything that's falling out there. Here's what we're watching tonight. Just by tomorrow morning, only a few little spots with some of those light accumulations in North Georgia. We're going to be dry during the day here tomorrow, and then on Friday, another round of moisture comes in that might spread a few more snow flurries up in parts of North Georgia Friday night and into Saturday morning. And there might be some spots in those higher elevations where we might see over an inch. I don't expect anything here in Atlanta, but just maybe some of those lighter accumulations up to the north. The main thing we're feeling out there tonight is that cold air. 41 degrees right now in town, 36 in Carrollton, 38 in Duluth, near freezing in Blairsville and Clayton. But when you factor in the wind, it makes it feel colder. It feels like 26 in Blairsville, 28 in Clayton. We have winds northwest at 15 miles an hour. Wind chills in Atlanta around 33, 36 in Athens, but it feels like 28 right now in Carrollton. And watch this. This is the wind chill for the overnight hours. Watch how that falls even more tonight, going down to around 19 in the morning. That's the time when a lot of the kids are going to be headed out to school. Maybe you're headed out to work at 7 in the morning, feeling like the teens over a big part of metro Atlanta and North Georgia because of that wind and that cold air mixing. And then as we get toward about 1:30 in the afternoon, wind chills still feeling like they're in the 30s. Actual air temperatures will be around 47 for a high. That's after the morning low of 31. We're going to go with a 9 on the wasometer. Here again is a look at that light snow up in North Georgia. Dry weather here tomorrow, and then on Friday, that's when we see the next round of moisture moving our way, and that can shake out a few flurries again in far north Georgia, afternoon and evening hours on Friday, and early Saturday morning, maybe a couple little blips of snow up in the North Georgia mountains too, with only some lighter accumulations there. Dry weather tomorrow, chilly though, 47, 54 Friday with that next round of few light showers moving in. Only a 20% chance of some leftover moisture Saturday morning. And then Sunday's a great day at 10 on the wasometer, warming back to 70 by Tuesday and Wednesday, but those rain chances coming up again next week.
Vince Carter, the ageless one, is known for some of the best dunks in NBA history, but it was the Magic's dunk champion, Aaron Gordon, who stole the show tonight. He should have won the dunk contest multiple times. may now have one of the best regular season dunks of the year off this Hawks turnover. Hawks trying to get their 19th win. Second quarter, Trae Young, watch him from the logo, big shot. He had 37 and 11 assists. What a night. But the Magic had a big run in the third quarter. 4 of their starters finished with double figures. And the must-see play is John Collins. Watch him with the block. Whoa, get that stuff out of here. But the Magic hold on to win 131-20. The Hawks have lost 2 in a row. UGA trying to get some revenge on South Carolina after losing to them earlier this year. Anthony Edwards had a big game. The assist to Rashawn Hammonds, then later a steal and dunk. He had 36. Final seconds of regulation. Edwards drawing the foul. Makes the free throw, sends it into overtime. And he would get the ball late in overtime. And how would it go for him? Well, it goes up for the tie, but they call the charge. South Carolina sweeps UGA. They win by 4, 94-90. Elite 8 basketball. 6A Tucker taking on Tri-Cities. Tucker the alley-oop. Jermonte Hill with the dunk. Keep an eye on him. Watch him on the fly right here. And taking it up top, man, oh man, sky. And then Hill with the dunk again. Watch him as they are tough. Tri-Cities, Demetrius Rivers with the 3 from the wing. And Simeon Cotty with the 3 to seal the deal. Tri-Cities wins 67-65. They're on to the Final Four. They'll face Chattahoochee. We're 3 days away from the Olympic marathon trials. The marathon, a great test of endurance. But for 24-year-old runner Megan Cunningham, she recently was trying to learn how to walk again after a truck accident nearly ended her racing career. Maria Martin tells us how she defied the odds to race again.
I wasn't even thinking like regional level, much less Olympic trials.
Former Missouri Tiger Megan Cunningham started running in elementary school.
If you made the track team in elementary school, you got to miss a day of school.
Olympic dreams haven't come easy for Megan, nor did she even think that they were possible.
My junior year of high school, I got 99th place at the state meet. Even competing on any kind of national level was never even crossed my mind.
Then just after her sophomore year of college, her family's truck that was pulling a trailer for a camping trip flipped multiple times.
I was like aware of the situation, but I don't think I really put 2 and 2 together, like how seriously hurt I was.
Megan's skull was fractured in more than 20 places, and her neck was broken in multiple places as well.
For months, I couldn't even sit up on my own. They had to teach me how to walk again. I never thought of paralysis as even a possibility until I saw my dad.
Her father was paralyzed from the chest down.
So I was trying to do as much as I could independently just so that they didn't have to worry about me.
Despite the injuries from the accident, giving up running was never an option for Megan.
The second that they brought my phone to me, I texted my college coaches and told them, hey, I'm sorry, these are my injuries. I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna have to redshirt cross country. Hopefully I'll be back in time for track. Meanwhile, everyone's like, you can't even walk. You're not coming back ever. But in my mind, that was not an option.
And with the inspiration of showing her father anything is possible, she ran her way into the Olympic marathon trials.
I want my story to motivate people to never give up. With a little bit of patience and hard work, you're able to accomplish anything you set your mind to.
Amazing, amazing story. Incredible story. All right, we'll take a break. We're back right after this.
Myself a nice guy. I've got the most beautiful woman in the world in my eyes.
You're a nice guy too,
Yeah.
Jeff.
I'm saying in my experience, when growing up, good guys didn't finish.
Somebody broke his heart somewhere along the line.
We're here every weekday morning, so come on, hang out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
You didn't get my text? The whole crew got together for coffee this morning. I'm learning the taste of water, because I'm sugary.
Yeah,
right.
About that.
Reward would be
Slimming down. Okay. Yes.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, a little water in my cup.
And beautiful skin. Even more beautiful skin, when it's all hydrated and everything else. I'm not going to be able to sit next to you in a few months.
Don't drink your morning coffee alone. Have it with us. Morning Rush, weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m., only on 11Alive.
Some mornings, what you want isn't what you have time for. And that's why there's the Rush Blog, the biggest news of the day in 5 minutes or less. Quick and convenient for all those hectic mornings. Catch the Rush Blog on the Morning Rush.
Everybody has learned how to drive, so I'm going to go ahead and retire.
It didn't last long. Crank up your morning rush with Crash Clark. Weekdays, 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive. Traffic brought to you by John Foy & Associates.
Atlanta is filled with great photo spots. And of course, I would know because this is my hometown. I'm 11Alive's Francesca Amaker, and I'm about to show you my picks for the 3 best Instagram spots in Atlanta. The Outcast mural is one of Atlanta's newest hotspots. Created by the artist Jex, people flock from all over the world just to get a shot of these 2 hip-hop legends. News of the mural went viral when Big Boy himself gave a shout out on Instagram. You can find it tucked away in a back parking lot in Little 5 Points. An Atlanta icon, ever-changing, always interesting. The Krog Street Tunnel is full of artwork from some pretty eclectic Atlanta artists.
Yeah, all we feel is good vibe with it, it's a good time. We don't worry about the hate, we just pass it to the side.
There's graffiti, community messages, concert announcements. You really never know what you're gonna get here, and that's what makes it so special. You can find it between Cabbagetown and Inman Park. If you've never checked it out, it's a must-see. There are hundreds of works of art along the Beltline. I'm talking murals, sculptures, photography. This beautiful mural was created by the artist Hence. It's 100 feet long, and even though it was created in 2014, it still remains very popular to musicians and photographers alike. You can
Cold night, Chris?
It really is, and the wind makes it feel even colder. It's going to feel like it's in the teens tomorrow morning.
All right, that's it for us on the Big 36. You know, news is king.
That's right.
See you tomorrow night. Thanks.
come hang out with me on Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on 11Alive.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
I haven't seen you in a while. Where you been?
It looks like fun.
They are fun.
And they're convenient.
But they're being dumped everywhere.
5,000 scooters at one time active throughout the city. I enjoy them myself. They're fun.
Yeah.
There's got to be some regulations.
I just feel like we have to evolve with the times, though. They're not going anywhere. They shouldn't go anywhere. It's a new way of transporting.
Yeah.
We have to evolve.
I'm going to be looking for you next time, so use the hashtag and let us know you're hanging out with us. Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
You see them all day, every day. Headlines, stats, and numbers, but without context, they're just clickbait. So let's add some perspective. The 3 most interesting numbers of the day, what they mean, and why they're important. News and numbers on Up Late.
What's the best part about
Your voice, it is never too loud or too much. Your voice has the power to tell it like it is.
Bringing us together to act.
Together, our voices grow. Together, we come alive, amplifying voices and breaking down barriers to change the story and shape the future. Together, we are unstoppable. Together, we are where Atlanta speaks.
Remember the old days, the old cliffhangers when we used to watch shows?
Hate cliffhangers.
Would, you know, they would wait the next week. You're, oh, what's going to happen to the $6 million man? He was hanging with his one bionic arm.
Morning Rush, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. only on 11Alive.
Atlanta. Almost 6 million people call the Metro home. But what makes this place so great? I'm 11Alive's Chesley McNeil. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why Atlanta is the best city in America. Come on, man. It's the heart of the South. And it's one of the most diverse cities around. People from all walks of life have come here and made it home. From different backgrounds, languages, and religions. And who can forget about the food? They all make this a cultural melting pot, full of great people and Southern hospitality. Atlanta's rich history is unmatched, known as the cradle of the civil rights movement for good reason. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Andrew Young, John Lewis, they all fought in the struggle for equal rights right here. Businesses on Sweet Auburn Avenue, local black churches, and college students from Atlanta all helped shape the future of America. Once an Olympic city, Atlanta's home to the best sports scene across the nation. Hey look, the South has something to say. You won't find more passionate fans anywhere. From the Atlanta Braves home run king, my man Hank Aaron, to the human highlight film Hawks Dominique Wilkins, some of the greatest athletes have come through Atlanta. We're talking the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, the MLS champs, Atlanta United. This city has something for every